everybody. Welcome to Eden+Fractal meeting number 46. Today is Wednesday, April 19th. I'm here with Mo and Eric and Lisa Nome and a bunch of people who do awesome work as always in the community. I'm very pleased to be here. I have a little presentation prepared to share a recap of last week's meeting. We got Marco throwing out the party favors in the Zoom emojis that people on YouTube can't watch, but just letting you know, having a good time, having great discussions here. We're going to go into breakout rooms in a couple minutes. First, I'm just going to give that quick recap and also a preview of the topic on the agenda that Perry shared, also Patrick partying as well. Great to see it. And then Mo also has an update for us, or kind of a job posting. He's a recently elected chief delegate along with Lenny. So congratulations, Mo, for being elected as chief delegate in the Eden on EOS election. He can only stick around for a bit, but he's going to share this with us, and looking forward to hearing it. We also got the Eden on EOS chief delegate meetings coming up tomorrow too. So lots of exciting stuff there. I think I'll get in the presentation first, but if anybody wants to say hello, then that would be cool. And then we'll pass it on to Mo after that, and then we'll go into breakout rooms in like 30 minutes or so, four minutes maybe. So sound good, everybody? And are we ready to go? Should I share the presentation or any thoughts first? All right, we got some thumbs up, so I'll do that. I'll be pretty quick too, and I'll just share the screen here. Actually, this is the job board that we'll get to in a moment. Shout out to Mel for creating this. Mel Pierce, great community member. So welcome everybody to the Eden+Fractal meeting. As I said before, normally I post the recent meetings on edenfractal.com/videos, but I haven't had the chance to do that over the past couple weeks, making the detailed show notes, partially related to what we're doing with Pamela, raising funding, working on that a lot. But as always, you can see them on the Eden Creators YouTube channel. I published the Eden+Fractal 45 meeting, where we talked about agreements in edenfractal.com yesterday, and it's also in Lenny's recaps as well, so you can watch the full meeting there. We had a really interesting discussion, and yeah, as I mentioned, Lenny does recaps every week. You can check it out at t.me/edenfractal recaps with underscores between those words. And then you can read the recaps from Lenny, where you can learn more about all these different things in addition to watching the video as well. Shout out to Lenny. He gave a nice speech at the beginning of last week's meeting as well. Just to follow up, if anybody's curious about that, edencreators.com/agreements has more details about the agreements that were proposed, and I'll be reproposing that soon with some feedback from Noam and Tadas and Marco. Thank you for the great discussion last week. And Douglas with Aqueduct also shared a draft of an agreement as well that he's asking for feedback with in the Eden+Fractal group. Also, we discussed edenfractal.com/details, which is the homepage, or the draft homepage rather, but it is live right now, so people can check this out. This is something we discussed, and once again, this is open to feedback. And then you can watch the full video from last week to hear all of our discussions about that. We're going to go into Eden+Fractal in a minute or so, go into the breakout rooms, and then after that, we'll do agendas where people can propose discussion topics. Encourage everybody to propose discussion topics and vote on them. This week, there's only one discussion topic proposed yesterday, I believe, so far. This is Perry proposing a topic to discuss Eden+Fractal decentralized media governance model. And Perry put together a very detailed Google document with more details about this. So I'm looking forward to seeing Perry introduce this in about an hour or so, and then we can zoom in and look into all the details here and see what Perry's thinking about. We also discussed dNews, which is quite related to his proposal, on the 33rd Eden+Fractal meeting, which you can see at edenfractal.com/33. And then there's lots of messages in the Eden+Fractal chat this today, which is great to see from Perry, and then also some responses from Tadas and from, whoops, I opened the wrong thing. And then also Lenny shared some stuff anyway, but lots of things we'll get into. And Perry also shared a new page for dNews.zone/about, where there's more details, but we can get on to all that. And I just figured I'll show you real quick here. And with that, we're going to go into Eden+Fractal in a minute or two, but first I'll pass it over to Mo, who shared a link with me. This is the job board site that recently, I believe, Mel created, and people can search for job posts and also register to make job posts and stuff like that. So it's a cool way that people can see it. And actually, this is the Eden Fund distribution summary that I think Mo is talking about. So Mo, would you like to give us a quick intro to the RFP that you put out?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Basically, I just wanted to let everyone know that we put out an RFP requesting that anyone that is interested in taking part in looking back over the last 2 years of all of the fund distribution that's come out of Eden, and organizing it in a way that's understandable and digestible for the community, to get in touch with us and to see if we can collaborate in trying to organize this and make it so that we can put some focus on all of the great accomplishments that Eden has taken part in, and see what needs to be fixed as well. So please reach out to us, and hopefully we're looking to create teams of people. It's not going to be just one person that's going to be selected, ideally. So please reach out.
Okay.
Who will control the content?
The chief delegates will, obviously. Well,
Okay.
define your question. What do you
No,
mean by
that's a good answer. That's a good answer. I like that answer.
I'd still like a little bit more of a specific to that question.
Well, it sounds like I was doing something else, so I was a little distracted, but what I caught was that you're creating a website for Eden content, the group Eden on EOS. And
No.
so I'm just asking who would control the content, and I think you answered the chief
No,
delegate.
that's not what we're doing. No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We've put out a request for proposal for members from the community, and that's not just the Eden community, but the EOS community, or anyone else that's interested that may have some skills that they would like to apply to this and earn some EOS in the process, to look over the last 2 years of contributions that Eden members have made to based off of the funding that they've received for being delegates or chief delegates, or even expenditures that the chief delegates have undertaken in the name of necessity, for example, to kind of do a bit of an audit, let's call it, and organize this in a way where we can look at the summary and point to all of the successes that Eden has had and all of the value that it's contributed to the community, as well as maybe some of the faults that it might have, or some holes in the process where we can tighten those up and look to make it more efficient. So
Okay.
we've put out this request for a proposal from everyone, for everyone, and maybe that way also benefit the community. I also thought that it might be beneficial to announce this in the Eden+Fractal, since people here are accustomed to collaborating with each other and might be interested in doing this together as well.
Excellent. Well, yeah, thank you very much, Mo, and thank you for thinking of Eden+Fractal and coming and sharing with us. And thanks, Perry, for the questions and thoughts as well. As Patrick is saying, Eden+Fractal is the catalyst for collaboration, and he says, welcome, Mo. And Patrick also said lots of other things that some of them made me laugh too. Also, he mentioned that Patrick, recently did an interview, or is doing interviews with you and Lenny, and we'll be publishing them on the Nova Crypto channel, and also even publishing your meetings, or the first one rather, with the delegates of Eden on EOS on the Eden Elections YouTube channel. So I recommend everybody to check out the RFP that Mo put out, and we should get into the breakout rooms now because we're already 7 minutes past the top of the hour. Also, welcome, Yom. Great to see you. And yeah, I think I'll start the breakout rooms. If Mo, you want to share any final words, if anybody wants to share any final words, then now would be a good time. And I will, in the meantime, start up the breakout rooms.
I just wanted to thank you guys for having me, and unfortunately, I won't be able to participate in the breakout rooms, but hope you and wish you guys a fantastic evening and a very productive time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mo. I'm wishing you a fantastic day and a very productive time too. And I will, with that, start up the breakout rooms, and hope that everybody has a great time in the breakout rooms too. We got thumbs up and claps too. So way to go, everybody. Okay.
The presentation, but it's really just testing out some new stuff that's on DVM and some other apps.
Okay, cool. Well, I hope your tests with EOCVM have been going well, and looking forward to hearing more from you when you're ready to share.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Tadas. Good to see you.
I'll be back in a minute. Somebody just came in the door.
Okay. Tadash, your hair looks pretty cool today, but not quite as rad as it did the other day when we had our meeting.
Yeah, like I said, sometimes I'm lucky, but I'm too lazy to spend time to make sure it looks red every day.
Really, I would have figured that you'd probably spend at least an hour each morning just just making sure your hair looks perfect. No, I'm just talking, just kidding around. I think you're probably very, very busy with the ferment and all the cool stuff you're up to.
Yeah, that will be one of my contributions someday.
Yeah. And then one day Sadas maybe starts the hair fractal to unleash his secrets to perfect hair styling.
That would be weird for me.
You said that would be weird.
Yeah, like people that know me wouldn't believe that I'm doing something like this.
Right. That's how you get them. Okay, cool. Well, Lisa hasn't joined yet. I guess she's away from her computer. And then if anybody has any questions about or comments for Tadas's hair, then I'd be happy to hear it. Or of course, Gnome's hair is looking cool as always, and Marco. So we could continue discussing that, or we could start sharing sessions about what we're working on, our contributions,
Lisa
stuff
is
like that.
supposed to be in our room.
Yeah, she is. I'll send her a message to see if maybe she's stepped away from the computer.
Yeah,
I know she was here in the
I'm gonna
beginning.
send her something on Telegram, see if she can
Okay.
join us.
Cool. Thank you. I'll send that too. And okay, cool. And yeah, I'm also just getting together my presentation as well, a little bit delayed. Lisa's joining. Does anybody have anything on top of their mind that they want to discuss? Welcome, Lisa. Glad you made it. We thought you got lost in the cosmos between the alien worlds.
I got lost on Earth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in it. Where did I go? Oh, there I am. Hi.
There we go. You were right in front of her the whole time.
Alien world too.
Okay.
Cool. So, does anybody want to go first and share what they've been working on, or share any other thoughts on their mind? Oh, I see Marcos has his hands up. Marco, you're muted right now. Marco, I don't know if you heard me, but we can't hear you right now. You're muted.
Marco?
Okay.
Go now.
There we go.
Yes. I should say Polo.
Oh, it was a lifeguard. I heard all that.
Now we can't see your mouth, and with your microphone, it really helps if your mouth is in the picture.
So anyway, I'm running a bunch of stuff, even right now, and it's kind of not working. Just because my computer can't handle both the Zoom chat and that. One of the things that I was checking out was SOV. Gabriel is one of the members of that. It's a different way to approach gaming. It's all on chain. Everything's minted on chain. The EVM stuff I looked at were exchanges. 2 of them are active, different coins. Liquidity pools sometimes work. And I've been messing around with those. That includes not the fraud finance. That's kind of up, and you can trade BNB and stuff, but you can't trade really EOS assets yet. I was able to move a bridge from EOS through Wheat to Wax. And looking around for more apps. It's just a lot of stuff, and you don't know if stuff is working yet, changing different browsers and things like that. But again, I'm just here to listen. I may log off, log back in. Yeah, just want to maintain the connection this week, but I expect to be busy the next couple of weeks. Still covering the node operators. We actually, if anybody's interested, we actually went into some dreams for 5.0. That sleep, that is.
Dan, Jorge is asking for share screen on the other.
Oh,
on
thank
the
you,
other
Noam.
big breakout.
And I'm always listening in on Eden and attending the on EOS delegates and this stuff. So, I'll pass it over. Anybody want to go next? And I'm always trying Alien Worlds. Some reason it logged me off the whitelist or something. But I don't play it for a while. But I'm always checking the prices of lands and still meaning to do this.
That's how you play. I love it. That's good.
So you know what that's, Lisa?
No, that's great. That's the way you play, by checking the price of the lands. I love it.
Well, I like the mining stuff. I like what's interesting. I like what you can do.
The
with it.
Trillium is off the charts. If you have the rarer tools, people are freaking out what they're mining. It's like the old days almost. It's like the middle old days.
It locked me out though. I couldn't go into to
Just
do
go
stuff.
to support and say who you are, and you're on the EOS ship and you're fully doxxed and it's a mistake and you're not a botter, and Lisa's requesting that you write into support.
And why does he need to write into support?
He can't mine, or he's getting, I'm guessing you're getting 0.0001. And I'm trusting he's not a botter. I'm trusting he's not acting as 20,000 people. Although maybe he could.
I think I'm gonna log in like every few days or something, or I get locked out. Is that how it works?
Well, that's the WaxCloud wallet.
All right.
That could be, but they have a new wallet and it's a lot easier. Like I have that a lot less, I've noticed.
That might have been it. It might have been the new wallet change.
Yeah, it's better. I was like, wait, why am I not getting that pop-up as much? So Alien World's customer support everywhere we go. Tell me this metaverse won't be over every place on Earth.
And I'm gonna tell them. I'm gonna tell them on the EOS ship. Do I need a valid certificate or something, or a ticket
To be a Yoshi? What did you say?
You said the EOS ship.
Oh yeah, yeah. Tomorrow morning, same time. Meet you on Planet Ike in Telegram at Planet Ike. Live chat. Dan hosting.
And
mostly
And
Lisa
that's my
hosting, but-
report. And there you go. That's me all day long. And night. I'm so excited to be welcoming new players. Yeah, I might as well just finish it up, but I'm so excited to welcome new players and to connect all the chains. And I was custodian and still am apparently, although it's a little hard to tell with the interface. But nevertheless, I seem to be able to submit proposals still. And I welcomed 100 and some, I don't know how many, and there's some still waiting for wallets and stuff, but some I just used the Ike.dac wallet and welcomed, yeah, over 100 people and projects to Planet Ike. So very excited about that. And a lot of those are our EOS friends. So we're going to put, I think, on the planetike.com website, a list of people who have already gotten welcome declarations. And then apparently I can keep going. So I'm just doing 1 trillion proposals. So if there's any communities or influencers that you would like to connect, including yourselves, please go ahead and message me your WaxCloud wallet and the official name. And as long as they let me do it, I'll put them in. And what I've noticed is it turns out like people are actually saying, hey, wait, can I give these resources or those resources? Like someone's offering a whole bunch of wax for an event. And so now we're brainstorming about that and what would make it easier for people to like fly on over and do that. And so I imagine pretty soon, just like with the leadership of EOS ship, we'll be seeing a whole lot of spaceships flying all over the place in small groups to gather in larger groups and have fun. And I'm so glad to be able to connect people that I've watched and respected, such as yourselves, for a long time. So that's my week. Who's next? Do we all see the same screen? I don't know. Because I have Marco and then I have Gnome to my other side. So I don't know if you all see the same thing, but if so, accordingly.
I see all 5 of you.
Okay.
We're able to see all five of us, but I believe the order is different. There is a setting in Zoom that like
Okay.
makes it so everybody sees the
Yeah.
same screen, I think somewhere, but as of now, like I think that because you pointed left to right and you're on the bottom for me, Letha, and there's nobody there.
Okay.
There's just black space.
Where's Gnome?
Yeah, you're on the bottom for me too. I guess that's because you joined last.
I want to be accommodating, but I want to point to Gnome. So
Okay. You're
Great.
mostly pointing to Das, but I think we've gotten the message that you want to nominate Gnome to go next.
No pointing.
Okay, so let's see. Lisa put me in touch with Lucas, who's one of the people in AW support, I think, or something like that. And he's also a pretty good programmer. And we talked about 3 very simple games that we're thinking of programming and adding somehow to Alien Worlds at some point. And Lisa said that we might want to try playing that here at Eden+Fractal as well. I mean, they're very simple games. I think the game that we're playing right now, as we speak, at the breakout room, is also a very nice, simple game that does a lot more than any of those 3 games that I talked about with Lucas. But one of the things I'm trying to focus is how do we make games that are as simple as possible and still generate interesting things. For example, one game can generate, you can play it for free, so there's no gambling issues or anything like that. You get tokens, so you're not, tokens that don't really mean much, just count how many times you won. But if you give out NFTs for winning so many times, that could be useful later on for other teams to be able to identify who's good at this game, who's good at that game. And I think that's something that could be very useful for us. Like here at Eden+Fractal, we all know that Tadas and Vlad are good programmers. We all know that Dan is a great moderator. But it would be nice if they had an NFT that indicated that. So somebody who's looking for a programmer or somebody who's looking for someone who has a bunch of skills would be able to look specifically for people like that. If you're trying to put together a team that has one person who can do that, one person who can do that, and that they can all work together, it would be nice if we had NFTs that identified people's skills or strengths. And if we could generate those NFTs just from people playing a very simple game like rock, paper, scissors, or guess my number, or Splinter Words. So I'm still trying to figure out how to take it forward. Lucas is going to try to put together some code in the next few weeks and see if we can launch it on Alien. And that's pretty much it.
Sounds very exciting.
So I guess I need to pick the next person. It's either Dan or Tadas. I'll pick Tadas. I'd like to know what's going on, and then I guess Dan will go next.
Sounds good.
So me or Dan? Like me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So so I continue to work on Firmament. Still working on integration with IPFS. So I pretty much have a smart contract stuff done, and right now I'm working on basically a module that will integrate the IPFS networking with that contract stuff, which verifies the firm chain. And yes, soon enough I hope to start working on front end, and I hope to have a demo where everything in the beginning will work locally, but the chain will be fully verified. But in the beginning, everything will work locally, and eventually I will plug in the PFS back to so that people can jointly create a third chain. What else? Well, we met with Dan and Rosemary and Vlad yesterday. We talked about some exciting opportunities that maybe Dan will share more once he's ready. Yeah, that's about all for me this week. Dan?
Yeah, sounds great. Well, thanks, Adas. Great to hear the progress you're making with the firmament, as always. And yeah, I'll share some of those opportunities I've been working on and shared and I'm excited about. And then also, thanks, Lisa and Noam and Marco. Really cool to hear about the game, Noam, that you're thinking about, and Lisa. But anyway, I'll jump in. I'm just happy that everybody's doing great work and just wanted to express that. But without further ado, I'll share what I've been doing. So I'll start here back on the YouTube channel, just because, as I said before, I publish the video each week. I've been focused on other stuff other than the show notes, but I published the video and I kind of made like a little new look to how the intro could be, because I'm using a different computer and for whatever reason, it is not playing right now. I'm also trying to figure out where you go on my screen. I'm working with a new monitor, so new learning as I go. But I made a little intro and then I published that, and then working on show notes and timestamps for that as always and stuff. But that'll be coming out soon. There's a new brand I'm working on, which I'll just preview and tease right here to help promote what we're doing with Fractal Consensus Games and Eden+Fractal here. And I will share more details about that soon. That's one of the main things that I've been working on, but we'll keep it for next week, I think, to share more details. And one of the main things I've been working on too is working with Lisa and also Noam and Das and many other people in the community on Alien Worlds collaborations. I think this week, maybe last week, I curated the edencreators.com/Alien Worlds page more. I kind of had this for the past 6 months, but I made it better. And then I shared it with some people in the Alien Worlds community. It has a lot of cool art. One of the things I love about Alien Worlds is the art and the opportunity to think about the cosmos and everything. And then I curated some videos that Dwayne also did a great job of doing, and then some interviews with Dwayne and stuff like that, because I'm really excited about how Alien Worlds can help Earth, and also and vice versa, and how we can play consensus games and bring it to the next level with there. I'm preparing a proposal for like a really exciting kind of really cool immersive game experience to Alien Worlds. So I've been having calls about that pretty often. I'm also really excited about Upland too. So Upland's also one of those popular games in the metaverse and Web3. It's one of the biggest apps on EOS. So I've been doing a lot of research into Upland as well, because I'm planning to reach out to people in the Upland community soon. They have really cool llamas and cool art. They work with FIFA and the NFL and all sorts of big things. I'm thinking of going to their conference. So I've been doing a lot of research kind of behind the scenes about that. And that's one of the opportunities that Vlad spoke about that I think is exciting about. We spoke about that yesterday. And then also I have been finalizing plans to go to Consensus, just as an update from last week. So I'm really excited about that, and reaching out to people in the EOS community to meet up and go to several events there. I've also been curating an article about ARC, which is the Alliance for Responsible Citizenship that Jordan Peterson and many other global leaders are leading. They're looking for things that are quite similar to what we're building here at Eden+Fractal, I believe. And they're asking a bunch of questions I think we can help answer. So I've spoken about this a few different times on these calls, but sharing an update here because I worked on a lot of this article curating, and the article is still kind of messy. I want to refine it better. But in addition to their website, where they present it well, and then like I curate the interviews where he first released it with Joe Rogan, and then I curated some quotes where he talked about some things that are pretty similar to Eden, like subsidiarity and decentralized decision making and stuff like that. So curating that, and there's a lot more there where people can find, in addition to just finding the website. That's at edencreators.com/arc. I've also been learning a lot about the Meta Crisis community, which is an Ethereum community created by Kevin Owaki, who's the founder of Gitcoin. He's really on to public good creation. And I think we can also really help and collaborate with this community as well. So I've been doing a lot of research into here, reading on their forums and learning about what they're doing, and planning to reach out soon to network with people who are really interested in this kind of thing. Meta Crisis is basically about helping people coordinate to solve the world's biggest problems and stuff like that. So there's a lot of really interesting stuff. I recommend checking out the podcast with Daniel Schmachtenberger to learn more really insightful thinkers about solving the world's existential problems and creating a more abundant and better future for everybody. So I've been doing that and planning to reach out to Kevin and the team for a while. So I've been doing a lot of work in the background on these opportunities. Another one that I've been researching lately and I've worked a lot with in the past is XPRIZE. They give out many millions of dollars in prizes to solve like grand problems in the world for the benefit of humanity and incentivize radical breakthroughs, a global positive movement. So just to share a couple previews of
Dan,
things
did
that
you know that my spacecraft was funded by X Prize?
I did not, although I know that they had X Prize competitions. The first one was for some sort of spaceship. Was that you? And I know there's several different ones. There's a whole space exploration
The first one was
category
Richard
here.
Branson's spaceship.
Okay, right.
The second one was Go to the Moon, the Google Lunar X Prize.
Oh,
Our
cool.
spaceship is the one that got the first launch contract and that got there.
Oh, well, congratulations. That sounds awesome. I had no
The
idea.
orbit that you see in the background was designed for Google Lunar X Prize.
Really? Wow. Oh, yeah. They're Google Lunar. They also had the Google X or something like that, which is like the moonshots as well. I don't know if you're involved with the moonshots program they had,
We
but
were
that's
the
super
moonshot,
cool though.
yes.
You were the moonshot. All right.
Yeah, we
so
were. That's what we were.
Great to hear.
This is it. We were the top team in that competition.
Excellent. Well, thank you for letting
And
us know.
we didn't
and
actually
congrats.
get the prize, but we did get the consolation prize because we managed to launch to the moon. We didn't land, and we missed the deadline.
Damn.
But we were definitely the top team on that competition.
Well, congratulations. And that's awesome to hear. I had no idea. I mean, I knew you're very involved with space exploration, but that's super cool to hear that you're involved with X Prize and Google Lunar and that you won the consolation prize. I'm interested to learn more too. Perhaps we can discuss in more detail soon.
We can take it offline if you want.
Great.
This is your presentation, not mine.
It sounds good. No, but yeah, thank you very much for speaking up and joining in. I mean, there's a lot more that we can get into as well. And if there's anything else you want to add here, then feel free. I'm super inspired by X Prize and the leader, Peter Diamandis. He's all about creating abundance. Yeah, they're awesome people. So, and that's super, super cool. So yeah, let's definitely talk about that. And I'm interested to hear more. And yeah, congratulations. But yeah, I'm thinking that basically what we're doing here can help with all sorts of different X Prizes and help solve so many problems with humanity and do cool things, help people coordinate to go to space, help people coordinate to go to Planet Ike and alien worlds. So lots of nice synergies. But anyway, I've been gone for a while, so I suppose I'll continue. I've also been, I spoke with Brendan Lovejoy this week, and I've been working on proposals for the ENF to help people realize cool stuff that we're doing in the ecosystem and raise funding and raise awareness and stuff. But that's kind of just a brief update. And then I attended the Aqueduct meeting. I've been attending those every week that Douglas is hosting. And this article I curated last week, but my goal has been to play more music, basically. It's like a rebirth go where everybody can make their own music. So I'm supporting the group and I'm supporting everybody in the group, but I also had some reminiscing and sharing the potential of how this can help. I had some old live streams here that I reviewed and shared that are kind of silly and fun. So sharing how this can help, and then also helping them structure, like Douglas made a participant agreement. So I was talking with them about yesterday, and that kind of follows up with our discussion about agreements last week that I've been planning to make another proposal for that I'll do, I think, next week. And then I forgot to mention it last week, but I hosted the Eden Town Hall last week. I'm taking a short break for the next couple of weeks, but we're returning soon. So we featured the Eden election, and we had, I don't know, 7 or 8 of us who joined. We had a great discussion and featured a bunch of cool stuff on this meeting. And yeah, so that was a great meeting that we had there. And then also I spent a while today reviewing Perry's proposal as well for dNews and stuff. So I read into it quite in detail, and then I reread Dots's posts and some of the posts that Lenny shared with the article. And then I was very inspired to write ideas, one about autonomy, like defining autonomy and why that's important. I'll share more details of this soon, but just started to curate some resources about it, and I think that's related to Perry's proposal as well as our discussion from last week. And then also signals, which is an idea that for a brand that I have about like coming to consensus about signals. I found Dots's post about this very interesting. Like if we could have a consortium hook up with a spreadsheet so we can see what everybody thinks in a higher degree. Also inspired by some of the stuff you were saying, Noah, about doing things more offline or rather asynchronously. But I'll share more details about that there. You can also check out edencreators.com/signals, spelled with a C, to learn more. So I don't have that much to share there right now, but I just wanted to let you know that I was writing that, and then I'm planning to share more about that. I think it'd be really cool. Yeah, right? I agree. I like the name too very much. Inspired by Vlad too, by the way. Vlad is big on consortium signals, and then put 2 and 2 together. There you go.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, thanks. I hope you enjoyed, and happy to answer any questions or discuss. I think is everybody gone. Does anybody have any questions or comments for anybody?
You did just address a few things I need, so thank you very much. The agreements, the theory, linking some of that. I need to think about how we can get that linked to the other resources who need them.
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. Well, glad I helped you solve some of that. And then, yeah, feel free to reach out if there's anything to do to help. A lot of these are in links, like that agreement page I have at edencreators.com/agreements. And I'll continue to update them and then can share them along the way. If there's anything else that you'd like to discuss, happy to help however I can.
How about we vote and then we'll be able to use our free time. My experience with the EOS elections, I really don't like the idea of voting at the last minute. My room went fine, but seeing your room and Patrick's room,
Right.
I feel like, let's get the let's get the voting out of the way and then have fun.
Yep, that's a good point, and I agree. It's good to do it sooner. I mean, if anybody has any questions or comments that are relevant to their decision-making process about coming to consensus, then feel free to ask. But otherwise, we can, I think, follow Noam's advice, and that's a good idea to save anything that's not directly relevant to our questions and get a consensus sooner, so that we can make sure that we have enough time to discuss things without rushing too much. And it
Yeah,
looks
so
like Tas. Oh, go ahead, Tas.
yeah, I just created a Telegram group. Do you
Yeah,
want
I just posted hi in that room. Can you post the message that we need to reply to?
Yeah, I will wait maybe for others to join.
Oh, you're
and
waiting
then-
for everybody to join. Okay.
Yeah.
So I can see Dan, Marco, Lisa. Can you join the Telegram?
By the way, if somebody else wants to administer this room, feel free to do so. Like often in my rooms, I usually do this, but if anyone wants to practice with my help,
Someday I'm going to learn how to do it, but as long as you're here, I'd rather trust you.
okay, so I see
So
Lisa.
Lisa and Marco, are you going to join?
Lisa, you're muted.
Okay, and so did Marco.
Lisa's still
so-
muted, by the way. Okay.
Yeah,
Looks
but
like
I
Lisa's
see,
saying I know, but I can't tell.
yeah, I see everybody has joined.
Okay.
Sorry, it opens two telegrams and you have to close one, otherwise you're not going to be able to see it. And then I was like, I'm on different devices and I couldn't open it on the other one because that one link isn't there. So it,
Right.
we need a chat to go along with the, I don't know which chat goes along with this other than that one.
Dan,
okay.
how did you get a name that's not 12 characters long?
EOS has a system where you can bid on names, and they basically the EOS network sells unique names, one per day. So you can bid on names that aren't 12 characters long, and I bid on that for Dan and paid a little bit of EOS to buy it
And
about a year
how
and a
did
half
you
ago.
manage to get Dan when there's a Dan Larimer out there? Oh, he's Bite Master. He's not.
Every week we do, every week.
Yep. Dan did not go for it, so this Dan swooped in. They all lost a chance,
Okay.
and
Clever,
now
clever.
I'm Dan.
Wow.
This is Captain Dan.
Okay, I think Marco hasn't responded yet to the message, and Lisa hasn't yet responded to the message.
Where do I- Okay, hold on.
Lisa, I don't think that you have the account name, Dan.
Lisa, I don't think your name is Dan.
Correction. Apparently, I didn't get the Dan account. I think that Lisa got that one.
Okay, yeah.
Please have fun.
Can you send my respect to Dan? Wait a minute. Did I just hack the system accidentally?
Yes.
It looks
What if I
okay.
reply?
The vote,
What
the vote
happens
has
if I
the right
reply
name
with
for you.
Dan? If I had actually replied though with Dan, it would show up twice as Dan or just once?
Well, I mean, if you reply again, it always takes your last reply.
Well, I'm glad you're running it so you could answer
Should I
that
try
question.
it? Should I try
No,
it?
no, don't.
Well, I mean,
I like experiments to see before it's too late, but okay.
It sounds like Lisa's trying to break Fractogram right now.
Well, I mean, the first time I said something and no one listened, like a much bigger thing came in and it was like, y'all would have, anyway, I'm not saying told you so, but we'll see.
Okay.
well,
I'm sure it's built for
We
resilience.
need one
already.
more person for consensus.
Okay, okay.
Oh, it says no votes for me. I guess sometimes my app over here doesn't work, so I still haven't voted yet. I'll vote. Okay. So I think I have consensus
Okay,
then.
we have consensus, I think.
Okay.
How is that not consensus? Okay, I'm like,
I'm just making sure
looking at
because
it. I'm looking at it. Okay,
it
why are you
sometimes
voting
doesn't
for
show
me?
right there. Oh well,
Come on now.
Yeah, why hasn't moved on? We have consensus.
yes, Tadas did. Well, thanks everybody for voting for me. I appreciate it very much.
Man, this is cool. Every Telegram group should have this.
well, any Telegram group can have this. It's just a matter of using that Telegram front end.
Well, okay.
Telegram front.
We need to follow up on that. So can we add it to like 1 million of mine, like ASAP?
Okay.
Sorry.
We don't have consensus, and I'd like to ask Tadas, who voted for me, to switch his vote.
By the way, I don't think Marco voted, right?
Oh, that's true. But even if he did, we still wouldn't have 2/3 plus one.
Yeah, Marco just voted for Tadas.
Definitely, me too. I voted for Tadas, so don't vote for me.
Oh, you did. Maybe I'm.
Yeah, right now, Gnome and me voted for Lisa. Tadas voted for Gnome, and Marco and Lisa voted for Tadas.
So
You're
I'm
always
asking
talking about
Tadas
how
to choose
fabulous
somebody
Tadas
else.
I wasn't able to hear both of you because you spoke at the same time.
Yes, you could. You're just pretending.
I'm not. Yeah, if perhaps you want to repeat it, I would appreciate hearing what it was.
I say you're always saying how fabulous Tadas is. This is your chance.
Tadas, I don't know if I ever called Tadas about fabulous, although I wasn't making jokes of his hair, but Tadas is awesome, and I'm also happy to vote for Tadas
I voted for
if that would help
Tadas,
consensus.
people.
Okay.
Okay, I'll switch to Tadas as well.
It looks like Tadas
Thank you. I love you all dearly,
Yeah,
and thank you for playing. But
here we go.
Okay.
I mean, I'm
yeah.
not going to switch to me. I'm here all
Oh,
week.
well, Dan, if you were going to switch, this is the time, because Tadas just switched to Lisa.
Okay.
What
Well,
are you doing? He's trying to hack it too. He wants. This is the game. Do we get
We need
points?
2/3 plus one, so that means we need 4 people to agree.
I don't
all right. Well,
think
first I'll
I-
just explain my reasoning and my thoughts here, because I'm happy to go either way. But I did vote for Lisa because I think that Lisa has been doing super helpful work, like both networking and encouraging, promoting, bringing the alien world community to like learn about what we're doing here at Eden+Fractal, and sharing in addition to all the other great work she's doing in general for like Alien World and EOS, bringing people together. But like particularly, I think Lisa, she's playing a really key role in helping people understand the benefits of Eden+Fractal. And I think that Alien Worlds is one of our biggest opportunities in terms of spreading these fractal consensus games. Like it's one of the biggest games in Web3, and Lisa's like I'm messaging Lisa very often. She messages all these exciting ideas to me throughout the week. And what's that you're pointing?
It's number
So,
one on all
yeah.
chains.
Okay, cool. So I'm
Mhm.
happy to go either way because I
We're
think that
almost
what
at
Tadash
10 million accounts playing.
congratulations.
I voted for
And
Lisa,
Lisa
but
probably
I'm
invited half
switching
those
because
people.
I want to reach consensus.
Yeah, but that doesn't have anything to do with voting for me.
Well,
And this
I
is the
originally
coolest thing
voted
ever.
for
Come
you,
on, we
Lisa.
love this. Like, how could we do this without this? It would be a nightmare.
I
And he
originally
wants to make
voted for
more, and
Lisa,
he's working on more.
but I switched to Tadas because I think he deserves it too, and I want us to reach consensus.
But Dan, he's not going to want to vote for himself. So,
Well,
So
perhaps
Dan, you have to switch to Tadas if you want us to reach
it's not
consensus.
enough for me to switch. It would have to be 2 people.
No, Dan is the
Well-
one who has to switch right now, unless
Right.
Tadas wants to vote for himself.
well, let's give a little bit of space
Or
and see
unless
if
2 people switch.
there's been 3 of us talking a lot. So I'd be curious if Tadas and Marco have any thoughts. I'd be happy to switch to Tadas if that would help us because I think Tadas is doing amazing work as well. And I really appreciate what Gnome you did this week too. And I saw that Gnome got a vote at first, but I don't want to overcomplexify it though too when it's already complex. But yeah, Tadas or Marco, do you have any thoughts that you want to share to help us consider the best way to do this?
I thought I was ignoring Taras in recent weeks. I just haven't seen him. I've seen Lisa. I thought she ranked well. There is a toss-up. She does well to bring attention. Taras does. You mentioned the firmament again. I remember when we first presented that. So stay on top of that. Toss-up, really.
It's also what?
A toss-up.
Okay. Cool. Thanks for your thoughts, Marco. Tadas, do you have any thoughts here?
Yeah, I think you covered the reasons why the arguments for voting for Lisa that I based my vote on.
Well, I know I can switch to Lisa, but that won't get to consensus.
That's right.
Unless Marco switches and
Well, I think that
Lisa votes for herself,
Right.
that's not going to help. I originally voted for Lisa, but I'm rooting for consensus right now because that's what an Eden+Fractal is supposed to do.
Wait,
How
Lisa's
long do we
not
have
voting for
left?
herself? Lisa's not voting for
we've
herself.
got about
We
15
have
minutes
13
left.
minutes.
No, I
15
want
because
to put
George missed late.
Fractal. I want to encourage him to keep building and put Fractally everywhere.
Me
Okay.
too.
Okay,
Well,
I just switched my vote.
okay. I'm assuming that Tadas has the consensus. Okay, cool. So I'm good with that too. Sounds good. And Tadas, we got consensus now.
Fractally and Telegram everywhere.
Okay, and it looks like Lisa has consensus at level 4.
Huh?
Yep.
I'm not writing it down. Oh, it's hard. Hard choice, but I did vote that. Everyone's so wonderful. We need a better thing to vote on.
Well, that's the thing. We get to give each other respect for being wonderful.
Somebody's hasn't voted yet.
Yes, we have not received a
Marco.
vote from Marco yet.
Okay, I'm going to switch and vote for myself just to get consensus. Oh, looks like I don't have to.
We know
Okay.
how to
Looks
get
like I
him to
don't
vote
have
for
to.
himself now. Now we know. Oh, that's going to
Okay.
be useful in so many ways now.
Okay. Yeah, I voted for I voted for Marco, but I would have switched to myself just for the consensus.
Gnome's all about consensus. And with Gnome's advice, we now have consensus on almost everything with 14 minutes to go. So
Okay.
we're quite ahead of schedule here.
Who actually wants to be a delegate?
I do.
Dan, okay.
Yes.
Anybody else? Well, looks like we'll reach consensus really fast unless somebody else speaks up.
So Vlad is not, I mean, Dan is not a delegate, right?
Yes, I'm not a delegate.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, it makes sense to vote Dan in.
Okay, cool. I'm
Dan,
saying,
you've
Joy,
got three. You might as well vote for
I endorse
yourself.
this message. Yeah, I just voted for myself as well. And thanks, everybody
Okay.
for voting. Appreciate it. Very
Hmm.
cool.
What's that blue thing on the rocket?
I don't know.
I hope
It
it's the
doesn't
EOS
look like a
logo.
Twitter, like the Twitter logo. They've been going together with the okay. If my tablet so I can do the anchor notification. Results can be submitted here.
I'm curious to hear what y'all think. So yesterday I mentioned to Das, I know Das is super busy with Firmament and stuff, but we mentioned the idea that like for Alien Worlds and also for all other kinds of communities, especially like gaming communities, when we do Eden+Fractal tools, or rather when communities play these games that we're building and use tools like Fractogram, if there was like a way to have it where the Fractogram automatically shares the like cool GIFs and cool images. Like for example, just on what we were just laughing at, Lisa posted this thing over here, like the cool star, and then I posted the Doge dog in a rocket ship, and then we had a little chuckle. And then I see Lisa's putting out the coffee shop and stuff too. So I think that there's some potential like to make it where you see like cool GIFs or cool pictures, say with Alien Worlds, where like I don't know, it's like you reach consensus on level 5 or you're delegate or something and you have some cool picture. So well, anyway, if anybody has any thoughts about that, I'd be curious to hear about it and maybe encourage Tadas at some point to program that in, because I think that would be a fun feature that people would enjoy while they're playing, and could also customize for whatever game that they're playing it for too, with like upland characters, if it's an upland community, or Alien Worlds characters or whatever. And then Lisa was sharing with me yesterday or today, like AI combined with NFTs for Alien World, and there was like a Alien in Alien World where like it had an AI engine and it spoke with people as they spoke with it as well. So that's another thing that we could potentially explore too. So maybe if Tadas, you want to just program an AI bot for Fractogram, then no, I'm just joking. I think that's probably really difficult.
But
Too many features to think of, too little time for everything.
what do you need?
Yes, that's always
Well, I mean, I already have a lot of ideas for how to improve Fractogram, and like I'm currently more focused on like stability and features as opposed to like cosmetical stuff. Because that's the part that I want to demonstrate for Firmament as well, that it works, that it can work, like, and yeah.
cool. Well, sounds good. Looking forward to hearing more and seeing all those features, and happy with the update that you shared. Sounds like you're making some great progress. Marco says he's
Marco's
unable to
saying that
submit
he's not
results.
able to submit the results.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just saw that on the chat.
Same here.
What?
Yeah, I'm getting a message that the election has ended.
Oh, I think Vlad didn't start it up because Vlad's not here.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Such an exciting day.
Right?
I don't think it shouldn't have ended. I mean,
It
No,
never
the way
started.
yeah, so the way it works is usually Vlad, yeah, I think Vlad wasn't here, come to think of it. And at the beginning of each meeting, Vlad does an action on the Eden+Fractal account that initiates the election. And then that has like a 2-hour window during which time people can vote.
Oh,
So
the 2-hour window hasn't ended.
the 2-hour window has not started.
That's the last one.
I managed to get through.
Did you? Okay.
Uh-oh.
Well, maybe Vlad did do it, but then
What did you
Marco.
do to it? Maybe you just need one person to submit it.
Marco, did you follow the link from Tadas's thing in the Telegram, or maybe you were trying some other?
No, the link in the Telegram. I posted it.
I think it's a good thing to debug.
Yeah, and actually Vlad did do. I'm looking at the account, and Vlad started it 10 minutes before. So actually, I'm not sure if it's still open now because Vlad started it.
Oh, Vlad started too
He
early.
started over 2 hours ago. Yeah. So
Okay, so basically that's feedback for Vlad to give us a little more time.
yeah, and one of us might be able to do it now. Like I might be able to do it because I'm on the. I might be as an admin. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I'll see if I can do
If you're
it.
an admin, yeah, but in general, it wouldn't hurt to have 10-15 minutes after the session ends, that people submit their votes.
Yeah, I've always thought that the 2 hours was kind of tight, and maybe it could be 3 hours. But then again, I guess the idea is that everybody saw in the video there. I remember that's how the Genesis Fractal did it. But
Well,
I haven't
if
wanted to
you're
bother
going to
Vlad.
do more than 2 hours and 15 minutes, you might as well do 4 hours so people can do it after they finish the video.
Yeah, or 3 hours could work too. But
Well,
but also I know Vlad is also really busy too, so I don't want to ask him to
We've
do stuff
had
that's.
sessions that lasted more. We've had sessions that lasted more than an hour after the breakout rooms. So 3 hours might not be enough.
Well, yeah, Vlad usually starts it right at the beginning of the breakout rooms, which is 16 UTC. So normally Vlad starts at 55 minutes ago from right now, but today Vlad started at 2 hours and 5 minutes ago. He started an hour early for some reason.
Oh,
So
you started it a little early. Okay.
yeah, so
Yeah. In any
it's
case,
not a big deal, but.
I think in terms of consensus, it's nice to have as many people confirm the consensus. It gives you more stability, more safety.
I agree.
I mean, it's enough if we had 2 people and nobody reporting something different, that's still consensus. But it's not as solid, it's not as stable, it doesn't send as strong a message. So I want to encourage as many people as we can to actually submit. And that's why I think it's important to give them as much time as we can, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it takes, so that people like Marco can submit.
Has anybody else tried to submit it? And did you have any issues, or were you able to do it?
Yeah, I wasn't. I at first I thought that I was able to do it, but now I see in blocks that it didn't get through. Yeah, so in Eden+Fractal account, I see that nobody from this group has been able to submit it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how
I
no
know.
one said he
Try
could
it
do
right
it.
now.
I
think
thought I
maybe.
got through, but maybe I got the wrong impression.
Okay, well, I'm gonna try to call the start elect action. I'm pretty sure that's the
Okay.
action. Let me actually make sure that that's the one that
Okay.
Vlad did. I don't want to go do some random thing and like change everything by accident. Okay, Vlad did. Yeah, start elect. That's what he did. That's what he does each week.
Yeah, so who can call start elect?
I kind of think I'm probably an admin, or I don't know if it's. I don't think no, definitely doesn't require the MSIG because we don't do that. I think it's just like there's probably like 3 or 4 admins on there. I feel like it's probably like me, Vlad, James, and like somebody else. We
How
set this
about
up
you
in the
go
beginning.
ahead and try? You got both
Yes.
me and Tadas, and I assume
Yes, I'm trying the
saying that
action
it's
right
a good
now.
idea. If
Yep.
it doesn't work, we'll ask Vlad what you should have done, but let's see how it works without that. because
I'm
that's
pretty
also
sure.
part of the debugging process.
Yep, I'm pretty sure this should work. It says my action just successfully pushed. So now we should be able to check out the Eden.Fractal count and see that I just
Okay, so let's
redid
try
it.
this again.
Okay, and my start elect it worked. So it still hasn't reached finality, so I don't know if it's going to work right now. We got to wait 2 minutes, but I can try submitting and see if that will submit it properly. And everybody else can try as well now.
I
And
think
then,
it should work.
okay. And
No,
Lisa, well, it's not working?
I
yeah,
can't.
for me it didn't work yet.
Okay.
I'm going to try again. Election is over.
Then maybe you need to call start elect on Eden+Fractal test as well, because that's where this transaction interacts with two contracts, Eden+Fractal and Eden+Fractal test. Eden+Fractal test for the delegate.
Okay. So maybe the fact that it's not, I don't know if I'm the admin there, though. I can try it.
Hmm.
I wonder where Vlad is. The first time he hasn't been here, or one of the, maybe he'll join later, but he's been at every meeting before. And there doesn't seem to be the same action on the Eden test account.
I see it. I'm looking at it from blocks.
Can you share the link?
Yeah, one moment.
Okay.
Oh, maybe you need to post a link different from the one that you already posted on Telegram.
No, it should work the same then. Then I share the link in the Telegram.
You shared the link on Telegram, and the
No,
old one that you shared, or did you share a new one?
No, I shared a new one, but for Dan, for the start elect action on Eden+Fractal test. That's for him to start elect.
The new one just got me to it went somewhere else. It went to
I was in tables.
Blocks.io, the new link.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
That's not the one to vote with.
Yeah. The old link for voting should work.
Okay.
Okay.
I just successfully pushed it. So now I think it should work. Also, we're at 1 hour and 3 minutes. So I think, or actually it's been 55 minutes total. So I think I'll close the breakout rooms, and then I imagine the other group is dealing with similar things. So I'll just start closing the breakout rooms now so we can reconvene. And thanks everybody for the awesome meeting.
Yep, it worked for me now.
Okay, great. Actually, we did start, I guess that's probably 55 minutes.
Yeah, so
For
everyone.
some reason, it's not scanning the QR code.
I see Marco gave a thumbs up, so probably works for him too.
Sounds good.
I've got a QR code in my I can see it in the camera. Oh, here we go.
No, well, thanks guys. See you in the breakout room, but I'm probably gonna head out early.
Okay, thanks, Marco. Okay, I also was successful, and I'll see you guys back in the main room. Thanks, guys.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Vlad, Tadas, sorry. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Noam. Gnome, it's already made. Noam, hello. Mackenberg Sparrow, hello. And the rest is already made. Thank you.
Okay.
So I pushed into the chat what was our consensus. We were not able to use the application React app of Vlad. That
Yeah,
was
Patrick.
an assertion failure. So I put here what was our order.
Thank you. Although Patrick, I'll just explain that. So Vlad normally does a start election action basically, but Vlad's not here for whatever reason. He published it early, so I just redid that. I have admin access, so I just hit the action that we need to start the election again, and so now everybody should be able to submit their consensus results with the app. Sorry for the inconvenience, but if everybody can try it again now, then it should work out well. I was able to do mine.
Pascal, if you want to send me the link after when you have put, and that would be nice. We will make a yeah baby and push on chain.
Sounds great. Well, yeah, glad that we have that issue resolved. If anybody has any other issues, then feel free to let us know, and encourage and appreciate if everybody can submit their results on chain, just to make sure that we have good consensus and accurate and solid. No one's making some good points about that before.
If we can.
I just posted the link to our group's consensus web app on the Telegram chat, so you guys can just submit it.
Thank you.
Great, thank you, Jorge. And yeah, I see several people have already, so glad to hear that we're getting resolved the issue. Hope everybody had a awesome time in the breakout rooms. If anybody wants to share a little bit here, then feel free. We'll go into agendas and I believe Perry's topic proposal in a couple minutes. I'll share the screen to introduce it and then pass over to Perry shortly. But first, I'll also say welcome, Rosemary. Thanks for joining. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, hope everybody had an awesome time. Does anyone want to share anything before we get into Perry's presentation and the scheduled topics on the agenda?
Yeah, real quick, Pascal, if you could post the link to your post regarding NOAA Finance, which I wanted to ask you in our rooms in the chat, so I can take a look.
What, please? What link, Jorge?
You said you created a post regarding EVM.
Yeah. Okay.
NOAA Finance.
Okay. Good. Very good.
Cool. Sounds good. Yeah, the EOS EVM just launched this week, a couple of days ago, I believe, and NOAA Finance and several other apps are now live. So that's awesome. Marco was talking about that too. And if nobody has any thoughts they want to share other than that, then I can just kind of briefly introduce the topics on the agenda and Perry's topic, and then pass it over to Perry.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, great. Sounds good. So like I was saying before, thanks, Pascal, for sharing the post about the EOS-EVM in there. I'll encourage everybody to use the Eden+Fractal Telegram chat too as well. You can use Zoom chat as well. Oh, Vlad says all good. Cool, sounds good. And then encourage everybody to use the Telegram chat. We're going to go into our agendas came. So far today, I think there's only one proposal that was made. So I encourage everybody, if there's anything that you want to discuss, and it wasn't actually a proposal, it was a proposed topic. If there's anything that you want to discuss in future weeks, it can be anything really, then feel free to propose on Consortium. The link is here, consortium.vote, and then you go to the Eden+Fractal group, and we have some older ones that we'll remove soon. But the one topic on the agenda for today is from Perry to discuss Eden+Fractal decentralized media governance model. And Perry made a detailed document that he said we can learn and discuss about. So pass over to Perry and he can explain to us what this all means pretty soon. I do have I had a little bit difficulty like just navigating, but if you hit the plus button up here, then you can zoom in easier. So that helped. So looking forward to hearing from Perry from that. And like I said, this is kind of a little bit of a follow-up from week 33, or maybe it's totally different, but related to dNews. So people can check out edenfractal.com/33 where we first discussed this. And there's also timestamps where we can learn more as well. If anybody wasn't at that meeting and wants to review, and then you can check out the recent posts in Telegram to see some posts from Perry introducing this, as well as some feedback and questions and comments from Lenny and Das. There's lots of comments from previous weeks as well. And Lenny shared an interesting link. But I just basically want to give an overview. So I encourage everybody to check out the Eden Fractal Telegram group at t.me/EdenFractal. And then if you want to learn more about dNews, which I think is quite related to this proposal, then you can go to dNews.zone and dNews.zone/about, which has a new page with more details about it. And I suppose that I can pop the screen share here. As always with agendas, the way it generally works is that the proposer topic can get about 5 minutes to share their idea. I mean, it seems like you have a lot of ideas and thoughts here, Perry. So please let us know if you'd like more time to share. And being as the only topic on the agenda, if you'd like more time to introduce it, then I think that would be cool. And looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks again for making the proposal and sharing it. And then, yeah, as always, if anybody has any questions or comments, then please just wait until Perry's given his presentation and then raise your hands, and then I'll call on everybody so we can have a good discussion about it. If anybody has any last questions or comments, feel free to share. If not, then I think now's a good time to pass it on to Perry.
Okay, fantastic. Uh-oh, we lost Noam. Okay, we got Noam.
No, you
Noam's
didn't.
going into
I'm
space.
here. I'm just
Okay. All right, between the globes. What I'm responding to is the idea that we can do a lot more with our group than what we're currently doing, and we can actually derive funds and pay for our work as a group from our work, and that our work collectively is more valuable than individually. If we put together our work in a package, a nice package that is easily consumable, the sum, the whole is greater than the parts. And so there's a few elements to this proposal that I've laid out, and I don't expect everybody to get it right off the bat, but hopefully I'll be clarifying it over the next weeks and making it a little more succinct. But basically, there's a few elements to it. One of them is dNews itself, which I'm suggesting, as I have in the past, that this group assume editorial control of dNews. Now, there's a number of ways to look at that. You could also say, why doesn't Eden+Fractal, or why couldn't Eden+Fractal publish a list of sources that the kind that I would use, which is basically links to YouTube playlists and Medium articles and Spotify podcasts and blog sites that are publishing an RSS feed, an internet-based protocol feed expressing what's on those websites. And dNews is consuming all that and putting it in the stream. So why can't Eden+Fractal publish its list, its source list, that then becomes a stream? And then dNews chooses also voluntarily to read that list, respect that list, including pinned items, and manifest that on its website. That's one aspect. That's what I talked about before. But now I want to add another two elements to it. The second element is to do the same thing, but with the actual content that we're producing here regarding our own governance. Our governance of Eden+Fractal that is determining this list of sources, which is manifesting in a stream that people are consuming and at their own convenience and in a better manner, a better experience for anyone trying to keep up with the EOS community and also our own community. So how do people of our own community keep up with what's going on and where is everything and how does it work? Where is that information? And who is actually in charge of it? I think the best answer is a decentralized answer, which is a stream of sources, just like I've done for dNews, but for Fractal, Eden+Fractal governance itself, which is essentially controlling dNews. We won't call it that. Let's not call it that. Let's call it that. That is publishing for dNews, or it could be publishing for Bywire, or anybody else that has a similar technology. I'm not trying to monopolize anything. That's one thing I need people to. I want to make everything. I want to make that clear. I'm not trying to create a monopoly for myself. I'm doing the opposite. I'm trying to create an open field where other people can participate. And I would encourage that everything we do follow that same principle. And that includes the data for mind map or anything else that we produce, so that anybody else can participate and produce something similar to mind map based on the same data. And so hang on, Patrick, I'm not done.
I don't want that you say my things here when you are explaining your things. Don't say the things of me, please. Thank you.
This is not your time to speak. Thank you. The third item I'd like to introduce is the idea that we don't need a coin. So one of the reasons why we're not getting paid directly from our group here based on our rankings is, I think that the legitimate concern that right now, just as Dan Larimer and Fractally have expressed and acted upon, which is the concern that the regulators, including the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, and others, are coming down on groups that have coins. But here's the truth, guys. We don't need a coin to do what we're doing. All we're doing is saying we've got this pot, this account that has an asset in it, and in our case, it will be EOS. And it's not all of our savings, it's just the amount that's for that meeting. We have this account, we have a certain number of rooms for a particular meeting, and we have a ranking system that occurs within each meeting. And then if we apply a certain schedule for those meetings, for those rankings, in other words, rank 6 gets this percentage, rank 5 gets this percentage, rank 4 gets this percentage, and so down, and so on, all the way down the list, then we can say, we could actually create a contract, but it's not necessary. We can do this manually. But imagine a contract that immediately upon consensus on the chain disperses funds to all the participants. It happens that quickly. It's immediate gratification, and there's absolutely no coin involved. We can manually do the same thing and disperse on a monthly basis without a coin. We don't need a coin to do what we're doing, guys. And in that way,
Perry, let me jump in for a second. I'm curious to hear your thoughts, but it's been like 6 minutes. So I just want to check with you if you have any idea about how much longer would be best for you to speak. And then also Pascal made a comment that we're already doing consensus and distributing respect as well. So curious to your thoughts about that. And then lastly, I want to ask too, you made a very detailed and thoughtful image and kind of like flow chart and stuff like that. Would it be helpful to share that while you're speaking to better explain what you're sharing, or do you think it's more helpful just to say it and then we can perhaps review the spreadsheet later?
No, I'm happy. If you'd like to do it, that's fine. I'm not really excited about sharing my screen. I don't really like to do that. But if you'd like to share that for me, I'd appreciate it. That would be great.
Okay, sure, I can share for you. Sure. Okay, sounds good. And yeah, I can share it again.
I'm open for questions.
Okay, and is there anything else that you wanted to add there? Was there more that you're going to say before we open it to questions, or are you ready for questions now?
Pascal made an interesting question and saying in the breakout room, saying that this is a lot for this group, and he suggested I break it up into pieces. And it's a very good observation, and I've made that observation myself in the past. And my best answer to that is that video that I just posted of Steve Jobs, where he suggests that the best way to produce something like software and applications is to stand back, get the big picture, and ask yourself, what is the experience of the customer? And I think that's where we should start. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm giving you the details because you deserve the details. But really, we should ask ourselves, what is the experience right now of a community member trying to follow EOSIO AF, EOSIO Antelope Fractally, our community, and what is the experience of community members themselves, either existing veterans or potential new ones, of trying to comprehend what we're doing here. How easy is it for people to follow those communities? And the answer to that question, I think, is what I'm trying to present here. And the details are for your consumption, and I hope they generate questions. But that's really what I'm talking about. I'm trying to improve the experience and create a model that others can follow, not just here, but if we work on it and we develop it and we prove it, then others can follow the same model. I'm trying to turn everything from being closed and behind the scenes to open and transparent and forward. So that's what I wanted to say. That's how I'd like to wrap it up. And I'm open for questions. And there's my model. Thank you so much. You can find the information on. Oh, it just disappeared.
Sorry about that. I'll get it right back up there.
So Jorge, you had a question. Would you like to go ahead?
No, I just wanted to actually share the screen. Thank you, Dan. Where can I see the flow chart?
I shared it in the Eden+Fractal live chat and also in the general chat. If you scroll up, there's quite a bit there, but I did just share the link to the Google document there, so you can review it there. And then also, if you scroll up, you can see discussions about it. And then also Perry had some screenshots there, so you can find lots of information there. And then I hope that answers your question, Jorge. Feel free to let me know if you can't find it. Then we'll pass on to Patrick and to Das. Patrick, before you go, I'll ask and advise you to please keep control of your temper and not lash out so much. You guys are speaking over each other, and we want to have a very respectful meeting here. So please just keep calm, and looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Patrick, you'd like to share some thoughts now?
I will let go Tadas, and I will go at last. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, so
Yes.
yeah, thanks. I wanted to ask about that distribution model part of the proposal. How is it different from what we are already doing? There is already a smart contract which holds the funds and which distributes the funds according to fractal consensus. Perry?
Yeah. Tell me, how is it decided? How are those? Where can I verify how much I'm getting? Where is that information? If I get a rank today, I got number 3. How do I know how much I'm getting?
Yeah, so you can, any tool which shows state of a blockchain, so any block explorer of EOS can show you transactions from Eden+Fractal. The same Eden+Fractal account receives transactions from our votes, which we submit after every breakout room meeting. So you basically have the transactions. Currently, the transactions which issue tokens are done manually by the M6, but everything is on chain, so you can verify that that these transfer actions match consensus. In the future,
how much do I get for level 3, and how do I know that?
if you'd
like,
can,
Tadas, I could share the screen here.
yeah, okay, yeah. So on the block explorer, you can see in all the transaction details. You can also look into the smart contract, of course.
Okay, I don't think you're understanding my question.
Yeah.
Before the meeting, before the meeting starts, if I say I'm going for level 6, let's say, how do I know how much I'm going to end up with on level 6 if I get level 6? How do I know that? How many EOS would I get?
Yeah,
Perry, it depends on. Oh, I'm sorry,
Oh.
Tadas. If you want to go for it, then go for it. I was going to say it depends on how many people attend, how many breakout rooms there are, and then you can scroll down on the block explorer, and then you can see from last week, level 6 received 20.22 EOS, level 5 received 12.5 EOS, and level 4 received 7.7,
Okay.
and so forth. Depends on how many
Where
rooms
is
there
that
are.
formula? Where is that formula? And here's a point. Before you answer that, this is an extremely important point. People understanding exactly what's going on behind the scenes, is not just a small detail. It's paramount. Understand in having confidence in the process. We have to know exactly, things can't disappear into a black box and into a trust. We have to trust that people are, no, we need to enter a meeting and know that if I get ranked this number, I'm going to get this much. We need things to stop going into black holes. And so let me ask, where is that posted?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, by the way, but it's a problem. Well, of course, if you don't know the details about smart contracts, for you it's a total black box, and
yeah,
and that's
good point.
Well, no, but you're correct. We have a weakness here because
I want
we
to
don't
add something.
communicate clearly all of these details to non-technical people. But currently, it's if you understand, if you looked into the smart contract, if you would be able to understand the algorithm of distribution and so on. So people who control the M6, they only submit the rankings. They don't submit the amounts, and the smart contract determines the amount.
Yeah, and also to add to that, so it is transparent in terms of how it works. So it works according to the Fibonacci algorithm, where each rank gets approximately 1.6 times more than the previous rank. You can also see the proportion, and so the proportion of Eden respect is the same in every week. Level 1 gets 5 Eden, level 2 gets 8 Eden, level 3 gets 13, level 4 gets 21, level 5 gets 34, and level 6 gets 55. Those are the Eden respect, and then the proportion of EOS gets distributed in the same ratio, but it depends on how many rooms are participating. So if there's 2 rooms, then it'll be the same numbers that I told you before, but if there's 4 rooms, then it'd be half that much as well. That's because each week, the Eden.Fractal account distributes 100 EOS per week. That was donated mostly by Patrick. I donated 5 in the beginning, and Patrick's donated everything since then. And that 100 EOS per week gets distributed according to that same algorithm. So it's not like explained explicitly, and perhaps we should do that. But that's basically as simple as it works, and anybody can calculate it. But there is no way to say certainly if you get level 6, then here's what you get, because it depends on how many rooms there are. If you know there'll be 2 rooms, then you'll pretty much know how much people will get.
Yeah, you could.
Okay, go ahead.
You could roughly calculate, roughly the amount of people, so you could get the idea, and from past results as well. And the source code for the smart contracts is on GitHub.
Okay, so is it fair to say that most of us in our group are not concerned about a token, and that getting paid is because we've been doing it, and that's a non-issue? Is that fair to say that we accept the liability of a token? I'm actually okay with it, to be honest. What I'm trying to do is remove the roadblocks to really getting a lot of money placed in this group. So not just $55, but actually enough money where if you participate every week for a month, you can survive, you can make a salary. Right now, we've just got change, and what I'm striving for, whatever that may be, and it may be exactly what you've created. This isn't the core of what I'm suggesting. This is just trying to help it out. Whatever it is that we should make it explicit, make it transparent, have a place where people can understand exactly what's going on, and let that become a value of the community. Let that become something that we treasure, something that we value, and that we promote within our own work among ourselves.
Thank you, Perry, for aiming to help the group and help everybody receive funding, and then also all the thought into it in the speech. We do have some hands up. Patrick still has hands up from before. If Patrick wants to go first, also Noam and Pascal, but first it's up to Patrick if you want to go now.
I will let go Pascal or Noam.
Okay, thank you, Patrick. Noam?
I think what Perry says is relevant not just for us, but we're trying to be the pioneers. We're trying to have what we're doing be applicable to other places. And if we want our system to work on alien worlds, for their syndicates, for groups that form in alien worlds, and they never heard about Eden, they never heard about fractals, they never heard about EOS. They're working with alien worlds, they're playing a game. We need the transparency that Perry is talking about so they know what they're doing. So it would be a good idea to build that transparency and use us the way we're working right now as the pilot, as the test case. If we can't do it for ourselves, how can we expect people on alien worlds who never heard of us, never played any of our games to actually pick up what we did? We really need to do it for ourselves so we can do what we set out to do and export what we're doing to alien worlds so everybody can do it.
Thank you. Great points, Noam.
Yeah. I'll just echo what Noam just said. And then I will say it again. Perry, I understand what Perry is trying to mean in this community. There's value we are building here. I saw this value since the day one that Dan started this. Fractal governance is a valuable thing. Now, one of the ways that we have to value ourselves is at the personal level is through a token. Some people may say, okay, they are afraid of the legal things, but a token is a means of value what a community is building. In this community, we are using 2 tokens every week. You know, when we're going to consensus, I would say Perry is level 3, Patrick is level 5. I know Patrick is receiving EOS. This EOS is coming from donations, and the donations can end. You know, so if this donation is not there each week, the community will just die. The second token we have is Eden. At this point, the Eden doesn't have any value. It doesn't have any market. It's not transferable, but it has some like significant value for each of us. If I echo what Perry is saying, is we are doing something which is great. Receiving 1 EOS, 2 EOS, 2 EOS every week is not enough. This Eden, our Eden token, can have value. Personally, I will advocate for Eden for the community to come into consensus and then to make Eden a tradable token. Everybody can decide its own. I believe Eden in the market could cost $2 1 Eden token, because each week we are doing things, we are giving tokens to people, and in this token, we have to give it some kind of significant thing. Patrick, I've given you level 6. Level 6 is 10 Eden token, and then 10 Eden token is good. It's your end of the day. You go back at home, you are happy. So I will advocate for the Eden token. It's not my personal decision, it's a community decision, to be tradable and then to have value. We are a decentralized community, and then everybody in this in his own jurisdiction can follow the law. No. So we cannot apply the law for everybody in this community. I understand that restriction. I can understand Patrick's personal restriction, but as a community, decentralized community, we need to come to consensus. This Eden token, what is it really? Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you
Patrick?
for sharing your thoughts, Pascal. And yeah, Patrick, would you like to go now?
Yeah, basically my comments are making a resume of Pascal, Noam, and Tadas, totally aligned with all the talks, ideas here. For me, I repeat, maybe I will again repeat myself, but that's okay. I am okay to repeat because I don't want to be a sheep and I want to stay a lion. So what I want to say here, what we do since the beginning with Eden+Fractal has always been a sandbox engine. We are testing the process here, like into Eden on EOS. We are giving respect to the people that are going into the breakout room and doing week after week their contribution. And I think more we are going, more we should have a clear definition of what is the role of a delegate and what should do a delegate when he's elected into a breakout room. That's all about that. And after you can also speak about the role of the token. Myself, I am not in favor to have a token tradable. I prefer to see this token used as a proof of respect to the people doing their contribution week after week. That's the point. Maybe then we can speak about maybe doing a token tradable, but we are not yet there. We are more still some weeks, since some weeks always at the same place, not moving on something very important, the role of the delegate, the MSIG dynamic, the things more dynamic because you are doing the things weekly, not only every 3 months. So that's what I want to see. About the dNews proposal that we have here, I have read the document. I loved it to read this paper with all this detail. I love it, but I want to be very clear. I don't see this Eden+Fractal community that we are become the new, let's say, I take another example, the new punk fractal, because you have a project by Pascal, shout out. He's doing a platform, Thiago Ray, and the punks NFTs. Myself, I am doing EOS Digital Extended Network. Tadas is doing Firmament. Jorge is doing a Spanish Fractal and doing something beautiful there. So I think the people that are here have to know each other by going week after week, you know the people better. Then behind the scene, it's not behind the scene. It's outside of this Eden+Fractal, you begin to work with some people or collaborate, by the way. It's not really working. You are collaborating. You stay independent to have your best freedom, by the way. And you connect with those people. And sometimes that's the beauty. You are very aligned with those people because you think you share the same values, the same, let's say, you love the same things or you are very attracted for the same things. That's the beauty. So for me, here is a catalyst. Eden+Fractal is a catalyst. We have defined Eden+Fractal like this since the beginning. There is a promotion video, by the way, for this Eden+Fractal. And there are mind maps, that's okay. And there are other things. Everyone can do what he wants. Then you have a beautiful website by Dancing Joy, Eden Creators, Eden+Fractal. All is curated there. There is an ocean now also. And there is a beautiful MSIG where the people like you, Perry, you are in. You can go into this MSIG. You were added into this MSIG. You have to approve this MSIG week after week after each Eden+Fractal. I just want to say what I mean.
You're not critiquing my proposal.
I am not critiquing your proposal. I am just stating why we are here indeed. We are doing collaboration. Then that's up to the people to create their platform. Myself, I am not approving to see this Eden+Fractal becoming the new decentralized
Let me
asset?
ask you this. Let me ask you this question.
I am not
What
okay.
do you
Sorry.
think, what do you think is the experience of someone trying to follow what we're doing here? What are the rules?
Perfect. Perfect. You have Eden Town Hall. You have nice Antelope Swiss workshop every 2 months with an Eden+Fractal update number 6 coming on May 23rd. I encourage you to be there. You have other people that I pay attention to Firmament, to Eden+Fractal on Twitter. We are doing fantastic outreach marketing, but you have other people that are not following. That's okay. But me, I am okay with what we are doing here. And I encourage other people to follow here. I am joining also when I am not always okay, but I am joining. I am always here, sustaining what is doing Dancing Joy, sustaining what is doing Tadas, sustaining what are doing others. And I am okay to be leveled 1 in every breakout room, because that's no more the point to be leveled 6 for me. That's okay. I just want to give the respect for other people that are into my group to be elected better than me. And about to give funds to this Eden+Fractal, I have stopped my help with that, because I have also to think about, sorry, a little bit about me. That's not egocentrical or egoist. I have just also to think about me sometimes, not only give EOS to everyone. Yeah, that's okay. And I will give soon more more EOS for this Eden+Fractal. I am okay. I am okay to sustain this Eden+Fractal monetary value sense, but I let also the door open for others, because I don't want to be seen always as the only guy helping or doing a thing. But don't misinterpret what I say. I love your proposal. I love your proposal. I am not voted because I think that's not the point for Eden+Fractal to become the new decentralized asset of news, or maybe someone else will say tomorrow we have to become the next thing. We have to improve our processes. And by the way, the Eden+Fractal process is very well documented. All is documented. We need better guidelines, better notion, and all these things. That's in progress. So I want that personally be focused on what we are.
Drop me the link where it's all documented.
Okay,
Vlad,
not
later.
Can you put a
Drop
link?
me the link where we see everything. Let's see everything.
EdenCreators.com and Eden+Fractal.com. Yeah.
Allow me. I'd like to clarify. Oh, go ahead, Dan.
All right. So thanks, Patrick, for all the thoughts. And everybody's got a lot of passion, which is great to see, and a lot of great ideas. I also want to respect Tadas because he had his hand up. But first, I want to say you were mentioning dropping the link, Perry, and I have been aiming to do that as best as I can. So, for example, the edenfractal.com/details page that I introduced yesterday is aiming. I saw that that
yes, but the point is, Dan,
mentioned,
you don't have the right to do that. You don't represent Eden+Fractal. This is the point I'm making. We all are contributing. So how do we express that as a decentralized group is the question I'm trying to answer.
So I don't agree with you. I do have the right to express my own opinion, and I don't need to have agreement from everybody else. Yes, and that is what I'm doing here when I'm expressing my opinion about how Eden+Fractal works and also the tools that we do. And I'm putting in great effort to explain that, but that's not necessarily speaking on behalf of the whole group. It's just my opinion. And we can go into more detail about that too. And I could show that and show more, but the tools article that I'm working on that I shared last week as well, that's also aiming to explain this in more detail. So that's the place where I'd recommend. And of course, anybody, as I said before, I'm open to feedback and would be happy. So far, it's just a volunteer effort. So I encourage everybody to support and take part in helping to write this if you see something that's missing. And certainly what I've done so far isn't perfect, and there's lots of things that can be better, but I'm just doing my best to explain it and encourage everybody else to do so as well. And very much welcome collaboration. And that tools article at edencreators.com/tools, I'll share it again in the live chat. That has pretty good answers to a lot of the things you're explaining, but certainly can be improved, and happy to discuss it. With that, I hope that answered your question, Perry. And I also want to hear what Tadas thinks too. But is something you want to say first, Perry? Though?
Yeah, I don't think that it answers it, because even though you're the host, hearing from just having only one person answer that isn't really the answer. I think that we should have a place where it all comes together. And I think that's what I'm proposing, a place where it all comes together and it's all streamed and everybody who's contributing is part of that stream. What I'm suggesting is that this is a superior way for a decentralized group to express itself collectively. And I'm not discouraging in any way your own posts, your own description, your own explanations. 100%, we need more of that. All I'm saying is that let's get everybody together in the same stream, and that more accurately reflects a decentralized community. And the other thing I want to just a little comment I want to make is that I'm not married to this no coin idea. Like I said, I was just trying to get rid of an objection. But the point I want to make is that I think we should have very deliberate and express rules, i.e. bylaws, that express exactly how the money moves around. So if we're asking somebody to contribute 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 EOS into a savings account, there are explicit rules and gates and decisions on chain that move that money into another account that is then dispersed into ranking rooms, into actual meetings and the result of our ranking. We have to have those rules. They have to be agreed to. They have to be in bylaws. If we're going to ask people to make money and make those grants, make those contributions, those have to be explicit, and we should be practicing those so they can see, okay, here's a meeting. I watched a meeting. Oh, and here are transactions, and they match the ranking. I see. And then somebody who's actually participating and wants to participate their labor. Oh, I see the money coming in. I see it moving into the let's call it, go from the savings account to the checking account for the meeting. Oh, I see the rankings. Somebody made this much money. Their account got credited. Oh, I entered a meeting. I contributed. I ranked this. I got that amount. That is gold, and we're completely ignoring it.
Thank you, Perry, for bringing it up and explaining. So at this point, we're certainly not ignoring it. We're discussing it. So I have some other thoughts I could share, but I'll pass it on to Das now.
Yeah, I definitely don't agree that we are ignoring it. First of all, everything is explicit, and contracts basically define rules, explicit rules about how funds are shared and so on. The only thing which we lack is translation into more human and user-friendly language. So basically we need front-end work, and for that we need time. We're not ignoring it. We don't have the resources to work on these things. And also this base layer is also not, this smart contract layer, I would say, is not yet fully stable. So that's why even if we had resources, I wouldn't rush to create all of these translations into more human-friendly ways, because this base layer of contracts might change in the future. Yeah, so that's my perspective regarding that. Also, maybe I will ask a question instead of trying to say something else. So, do you see dNews as the ultimate source of truth for people regarding consensus of a fractal, I guess?
Great question, Tadas. Absolutely great question. I'm so happy you answered that. No, I'm suggesting that Eden+Fractal itself published a list of sources. Excuse me, I've got to eliminate this. Okay. I'm suggesting that Eden+Fractal published a list of sources and pinned posts that anybody that is employing the type of technology that dNews is employing can interpret that list of sources and create their own interpretation of that. And dNews is not the only one. In other words, I'll just say it. Michael Sullivan of Bywire could create the same thing I'm doing, or anybody here that has the ability or the money to produce it can produce their own based on the same signals and have their own interpretation of exactly the same content that this group is voting for on chain. So I'm not trying to monopolize. It's the opposite. I'm trying to flatten the field, not capture it. I'm trying to open it, not capture it.
Yeah, in that case, I'm very much aligned with your vision, I would say, as long as you stick to that, Eden+Fractal publishes at the sources and dNews chooses to respect them. If we choose that phrasing, then I'm totally aligned. And furthermore, remember when I spoke about naming systems in relations to in relation to Firmament. Basically, I'm pretty much talking about the same thing there in from another direction. When I said naming system, I meant that it would name all kinds of resources on the internet, and it could be resources which identify RSS feeds which you are using. So basically, I see these firm chains that I'm creating naming RSS feeds, for example, and then that being a source of truth for services like dNews or Buyer or whatever. Or it could also name posts and so on. Yeah, and so basically, this Firmament would be a protocol for expressing consensus of a group regarding links and internet resources and names for them. And in addition, it would contain proofs for that it's indeed a consensus of a group.
Okay, so let's do it. Let's do it. Is it more complicated than a set of links that I've defined? I've defined a spreadsheet that has a name of a link or name of a source, a URL, the type of source, whether it's an event or content in itself, and then additional comments. And what I'm suggesting is in the additional comment, anybody can suggest that. Any human can go onto dNews right now and suggest that. And then what I'm saying is that if it comes from this group, right, and we have this agreement that I'm going to now reflect the decisions of this group, then you simply place the link to the blocks.io page, which shows the decision, the delegate decision to, or the MSIG, I guess it would be, to add or subtract that source. That is whatever that decision is. It's that simple. I'm not sure exactly what your protocol is, but that's what I'm suggesting, and that's all I need. And so if we have that, then dNews and Buywire and whoever else wants to create the same thing for our own group is perfectly welcome to. And I would suggest that that happen across the board, including data that is being produced for mind map. That is the data for mind map, and that becomes available for anybody to consume and interpret for the benefit of the group and people following and trying to consume the group, consume the information.
Yeah, so the Google Docs solution is definitely the most sensible solution in the meantime, in the short term. But over the long term, I don't see it as the perfect solution, because it's basically who owns the Google Doc, and like the whole, I guess, friendliness of the interface, like how are you going to take the news sources from the Google Doc and then into the, how will you integrate it? So basically Firmament would be I would say machine friendlier interface
Well, I'm not going to argue against Firmament because I don't know all the details of it, But as far as I can tell right now, it sounds like you're going in the right direction. I don't know if we decide to do that when it's ready, or if it's ready right now, if we can do that, if it's ready to do it right now. Is that a choice between doing Firmament and moving forward with a list, right? I don't think we can do everything in one step. You know, can that list that I created be somehow integrated with the protocol that you're creating? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I don't think any of that, and nor do I think the existence of a coin or the lack of a coin, either one of those, should stop us from moving forward and expressing ourselves as a decentralized, as a DAO that manages media assets. That, I think, is the most important thing, whether we're using a Google Docs spreadsheet or we're reading directly off of the protocol itself. We should be moving forward in this sense, and that's what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to move us forward. So I look forward to learning more about what you're doing with Firmament, but I don't think it should block us from what I'm suggesting. I think we should go forward with what I'm suggesting.
Yeah, I don't say we should wait for something. I'm just saying in the long term that might be something that we might be interested to switch to if it makes sense, because there might be some benefits to that.
To answer your question more specifically regarding the Google Doc, it's true. I can control it, but I can also hand it to somebody else. Yeah,
but also Google, like it's dependent on a centralized service, and
no, I 100% agree. The answer is blockchain and not a Google Doc. 100% agree. But until that time comes, a Google Doc can trace changes, and anybody can make a copy of a Google Doc. So it's not like I would truly control it. In fact, I think, in my mind, the group should control this list, not me. And I'm happy to allow somebody to download a copy of it, and it becomes the group asset if the group was able to control assets. Whether I control it or not isn't really the point, because anybody can copy it themselves, and we can trace all changes. So the combination of that, anybody can download it, and all our changes are traced, can put it into a valid state until we have something like a blockchain-based source or list, which I think is a great idea. But in the meantime, we just use a doc, a Google Doc, or we can make it a Proton. I think Proton has docs now. I think they've got a basic form along with mail. We could do one of those. That's fine. That's not the primary point for me. The primary point is that we decentralize the editing, the expression of a community by a media group that is dedicated to that. And the bigger picture, let's go even one level higher than this, is that when something gets created like a judicial body, and something gets created like what Chris is creating, and something gets created like what Josh was creating, which is a multi-language, multi-regional version of Eden on EOS, this can serve as the balancing estate to those two estates. And it should at some point, I believe, receive direct funding from inflation. In the meantime, we should receive grants from various contributors into a savings account, and then a certain portion is distributed each week for our meetings into a separate account. And we all know that if I show up on that meeting, this is how much is in that pot, and this is how many rooms there are. I should be receiving X amount for this rank. That's the big picture, along with the detail in one paragraph.
Thank you, Perry, for the inspiring speech and all the thoughts, and thank you to Das as well. I find this super inspiring, and I'm looking forward to explore this more. And I have a bunch of thoughts I've been writing I'll share at some point. I also want to say that we've been in the post breakout room agendas for about an hour, and I want to respect everybody's time too. So I'm happy to stick around for longer. Usually we keep this going for about a half hour or so, but I just want to put that out there. Perry, perhaps because we had like four people who had their hands up, so perhaps if you could respond shorter, just to make sure that we have time for everybody to respond. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts, but I also want to make sure we have time. And I know Marco has been very patient, so thank you for that, Marco. And I know Jorge and Rosemary had their hands up too, in addition to Patrick. So I would say a good time to pass on to Marco now. Although also, if anybody has to go soon and wants to just share a quick thought, like I see Jorge and Rosemary lowered their hands. So if anybody has to go, then let us know, and we could perhaps prioritize you in the list of people to go next. But I think now would be a good time to pass it on to Marco. Marco, thoughts?
There's no need to respond here. I'm going to post in the chat a couple of links. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you good.
All right, so BBS boards was promoted a couple of times by BBS, Big Beard Samurai. What Perry's saying is important. I also had, there was a time when there was a news source, more than news source, a news sort of a loose association called Muckety. Muckety was a place that professional media people from the Associated Press, really throughout the world, just came online and drew links between influencers, from leaders in government to business people, all legal documents that they were associated with. You can go into this mind map, click on a person, and it would open up to their relationships with government people and the like. So what Barry's saying is important. That was decentralized. I mean, somebody controlled it, but the idea was to just go in and contribute. That's why I always praise what Patrick is doing. So again, what Barry's saying is important. The thing is, we solve a lot if we look at a blockchain solution from the beginning. And you'll see right in there in the chat, there is already an EOS community board. I started a Web3 board, which I think will probably suit Perry's needs a little bit better, since it's not just EOS, it's big, broader topics and topics for the day. But anyone can start a board, and instead of a list, we don't include anybody in the list unless they have one of those decentralized boards. And from there, we can work with whatever blockchain applications that would facilitate.
Thank you, Marco. Good point. And yeah, I agree. BBS, it's a really exciting application. Joran has worked a lot with it. He's participated in a lot of Eden+Fractal meetings, and I also put together one at edentalk.com, which is a kind of a startup for how we can use BPS for Eden. And then I'll just add briefly, I do think a combination of these tools, like basically we're trying to figure out the best tools to use. So BBS, Firmament, also mentioned Notion a couple times, and I've also looked into Skiff and this consortium. I also shared a bit about an idea for signals that I've been working on as well. So I think we're working on something that's really hopeful here, and it's a matter of finding the best tools. I see Patrick has his hands up. We haven't heard from Jorge or Rosemary as well, so I don't know if you still wanted to share anything, but feel free to raise your hand if you do want to share anything. It'd be great to hear from you. And I see Rosemary just raised her hand again. I think Patrick had a hand up first, but
no, Rosemary, the
okay,
woman first. The woman first. Rosemary.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you. All right. A great discussion. Thanks, Perry, for bringing this up. I just have a question about, I guess the list from what I understood. One thing is the list with different sources that everyone can contribute to, and that's possibly going to be Google Drive, Google Doc. And then the other thing that you were discussing wildly was different saving accounts and like that transparency between transferring, I guess, money from different accounts and like transparency and things like that. So I'm trying to I guess I'm having a hard time to glue those two together, or just, I guess I guess, get the bigger picture of those two things and like the interlinks, if there's any interlink, because you were kind of discussing both of them, and I'm just trying to, I guess, come around it.
Okay, that's a great question. The best way I could say it is just to think of it as a checking account, a savings account, and a checking account, right? And so we would ask our donors, people contributing. Let's say it's the ENF or Pomelo or some other foundation or whoever wanted to make a contribution to our group. We would have them do it in a savings account. And I have no idea what the structure is right now. Is maybe there's a Eden+Fractal savings or Eden+Fractal. There's at least one account, there has to be. And maybe there's two accounts. Maybe you already have this, I don't know. But all I'm suggesting is that we have at least two accounts so that whatever contracts are employed that distribute the funds directly to the people, they're only pointing to the checking account, which only has enough money in it for a single meeting. So if there's some kind of error or something weird is happening, that it only affects whatever happens to be in one meeting and not the entire account, the savings account, which may have a lot of money. That's what we want. We want it to have a lot of money that we can say, okay, we've got enough money for 12 months or 52 meetings or even longer or whatever the case may be. So we're just kind of, that design, the purpose of that, having the two accounts is just simply to create something of a firewall. And then, yeah, so that's the explanation of the two accounts. Does that help? Does that bring light, or is there something else that you're thinking about?
That helps. But is there an interlink with the other thing that you were discussing about the list? Or I'm just trying to make a connection there, if there's any.
The list they're related, but not directly. They're related, but not directly. The source
So
list.
it's kind of like a second thing too.
Well, yeah, there's a number of things here. There's a number of things.
Okay.
The source list is really just all it is a list of what sources dNews is going to use to create the stream. So whenever you see a fireside chat YouTube on dNews, it's coming from a specific playlist on a specific account on YouTube which has a specific URL. And that's how dNews is constructed, is a bunch of those links. Some of them go to Spotify for podcasts. Some of them go to medium.com channels. Some of them go to specific blog pages, but they're all specific URLs pointing not just to a particular post, but to a source of posts that are publishing on a regular basis. So whenever anybody types something or posts something to one of those channels, they don't have to go and post it to dNews. dNews just reads it automatically. And that's kind of the beauty of the model that I'm trying to promote, because it's more efficient. A community can bring together all that they have more efficiently by using this technique. And the more efficient that we can become, the more likely it can become popular and viral and useful. Thank you. Does that help?
That helps, but it brings more questions.
No, good. Well, that's good.
But anyway, I'm gonna pass it on to the next person. Thank you, Perry. But thank you.
Thanks, Rosemary and Perry. And yeah, Patrick also. So Jorge had a question, hand up before. Is there anything you wanted to still add, Jorge? But then I guess Patrick's been raising hands and being very patient. So Patrick should go first now, I suppose.
I will let go Jorge, the best Colombian in the galaxy.
In the world.
Let's go.
Hello. Thank you, Patrick. Well, I have several things to say. First of all, I want to thank Perry. I see a lot of effort, a lot of thought power has been invested in this proposal. I can see how it is long-term minded. I also want to thank Patrick for being the first one to defend this community whenever he feels the focus and direction is being changed. I really appreciate that. I have something to say regarding the long-term vision I feel in Perry's proposal, which is that long-term is usually good, it's perceived as good, but it has this flaw, and it has to do with Steve Jobs' proposal. It's better to have a customer with a need of a product than a product with a need of a customer. And at this moment, yeah, I can see the need for the community to have a decentralized stream of sources, a stream of news, but it's not the most urgent need of the community. It's a long-term need. And at this moment, I am very grateful for what Dan is doing regarding his website and the way he simplifies the processes that are taking place here. And of course, you are right, Perry, that it should not be up to him to decide what the community or the way the community expresses itself, but it's a job that he has done pretty remarkably well, and I appreciate it. So that takes me to this very central point, which is that at this moment, what you are proposing is more a product in search of a customer, because the community is not asking for that. Right now, the community, the way I see it, is pretty happy with Dan doing his thing and posting his, well, the details of this community on his website. But I do see something that is becoming urgent in your proposal, and that is the need for creating a decent income for contributors. One thing is we do, for example, have the delegates, which are who is people that are given 1 hour of their time here just as volunteers, and they don't have any payment, any remuneration for that. So one thing we could do is to maybe modify the smart contract so that instead of having a fixed amount of EOS each week, we transfer a percent of the whole budget of the whole treasury weekly, depending on the number of participants. And also we need to adjust the incentives so that the community offers some kind of service to the outside world. What you are proposing with dNews is probably a subset of a bigger idea, which is the community offering services to the outside world, so that the outside world has to pay to the treasury of the community, and then from that treasury, those funds are distributed according to the Eden protocol, the Eden+Fractal protocol. So I really, really, really appreciate you and Patrick. I will love that you guys try to bear each other more healthily. Please take my criticism in the best possible way. I'm trying to be constructive here. And yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you all.
Well, that's definitely constructive criticism. I appreciate it, Jorge, all of it. I think it sounds like you appreciate the main points, or some of the important points that I'm making, which is we need a way of presenting all of our contributions in a cohesive manner. And that for me, an important point is this ability to show people, both new members and contributors, this is where the money is going. This is the flow of money, and this is actually how it's calculated. That has to be like upfront, and we need to do everything we can to make that super clear what's going on, and to show people that they can trace it. So yeah, I agree. This is not the whole picture. This is just part of the picture. It's providing a unique function in that it's bringing everything together, but it's not the whole thing. I'm just one contributor of many. My particular contribution is this website that is bringing everything together. But everybody has a different contribution. There are many contributions. So yeah, that's I appreciate your feedback on that. Patrick, you've got another comment for us?
Oh, absolutely. I just want to say to Jorge, very nice resume as always. Thank you for the kind words. By the way, I love Perry since the beginning, but I am not agreeing with all what you are proposing here. I have the honesty to say. And I say that because I have read and I have made my own research. And I think we should do that, everyone, into this community, into this group. We have to do our own research, pay attention to the content, read the content, listen the video. By the way, the last interview with Tadas that I have published into the chat here many times about Firmament and the directory of DAO and how it plays out with the IPFS, that is the new RSS on chain. That's one point that I want to say. On-chain verifiable, very important. And then the competitors that you are always pointing, like Bywires, for example, you are always citing Bywire in a sentence or mind mapping in a sentence or someone else into a sentence. I think instead, that's my opinion. That's okay. I say, instead to be focused on what the others do, maybe be focused on what you are doing with your solution and make good contribution in the group week after week and use this system Eden+Fractal, Eden+Fractal process, by the way, that is very well explained on the website. Maybe Dan or Tadas will put a link again to the Eden+Fractal process. We have BBS, built-in board system by dweb.io, Eyal Herzog, all on the EOS mainnet, all on chain. So we can use, we have the tools. We have bywire.news, all is on the EOS mainnet, all is on the IPFS. So you say about source, publishing source. We have interesting publishing source from this Eden+Fractal week after week that we can take either of these videos, either of the website edenfractal.com and edencreators.com and the YouTube playlist of Dancing Joy, or the YouTube playlist of Nova Crypto, or of everyone that is contributing here. So if you take all these publishing source and then you let the people do what they want with, that's the freedom, that's the independence, that's that to be the most decentralized that we can. So here, week after week, the tools are improved, new process will come, directory of DAO with Tadas, with the Firmament. Soon, the platform developed by Vlad and Matthias Schoenbeck of dNews.zone. Soon there will be a version for this Eden+Fractal, maybe. And for Eden on EOS, we are on the same page. We are improving the process. So I don't say yes to say yes or no to say no. I read the things, and for the moment, I don't see the point for Eden+Fractal to become the new decentralized, I don't know what I stated before. I prefer that we are this catalyst where you have people joining, learning. Yes, we need to better explain. We need to better educate. But there is already a lot of things to read. And you can go there, Perry. Day after day, we can read better and understand better what we are doing. Because I repeat, there is an MSIG, and this MSIG that we have into Eden+Fractal is not just to distribute funds. This MSIG could, is not yet, but could be used also to take decision. We use always consortium to signaling new topics, new things. We should use more and more this MSIG. We know it's not perfect. There are technical issues. I know that. But the intent of Vlad with this MSIG is very great. He wants to do something more dynamic. So let's do the things more dynamic, because we have the breakout room. That's I say always, it's not the most fun part. For me, the fun part is the main room. And the breakout room should stay what it is, about make your contribution and all. But there you have delegates that are elected into the breakout room. And we should really define what is the role of a delegate, like into Eden on EOS. What is the role of a chief delegate? The chief delegate has to be very, and it's very related to Eden+Fractal, by the way.
You're getting off topic.
No,
Patrick.
it's not. No, it's not off topic. Maybe you decide. That's the problem, Perry. I want to say you the truth here. I love you, but you want always that the people see the things through your eyes, and you are doing a little bit narrative from you, seeing the things through your eyes. You are very good at that. I want to say, not put more into my mouth. I was just making a parallel between Eden on EOS and Eden+Fractal. That's very related. We have processes and we have to strengthen them. That's where we are. That's where we are. Then we can decide. Then we can decide. But don't interrupt me. Let me finish.
So Patrick and Perry, please stop interrupting each other. And Patrick, you have been speaking for a while, so please try to keep it relatively short, because we've been here for almost 3 hours.
Yeah, I have, or 5 hours. I am just finishing on that. We can decide later on if the Eden token should be tradable and all these things. First, improve the process, follow the things, learn, and then we can move on. That's my message. Thank you.
My response to that, Patrick, is I've heard you say that you agree with the spirit of what I'm trying to do, because it's also what
I don't stated that.
Okay.
I don't stated that. I stated that I have read. I love what you have written, but I am not agreeing to see that implemented into this Eden+Fractal. To be very clear. Okay.
You see it as a parallel to what Tadas is creating in the firmament, but I haven't heard details of how what I'm doing is not adequate, but what he's doing is adequate, and why we should do firmament but decline this at this particular moment, as if we have to choose between the two. So on one hand, you're saying, I like the idea, it's doing the same thing as the firmament, but I'm not saying why I don't want to do your thing. So as always, you're conflicting yourself in my mind.
I always answer red, but it seems to be that you want not here. And we have made this discussion already, like Lenny stated. He has not joined today, by the way, because we have already speak that in long, in large, in diagonal, in 360. So now we speak again and again the same thing, and we are distracted and we are not improving our process. But that's okay. I'm joined because I have the balls to join and say what I mean. And thank you, Rosemary, because you put a little bit touch more happy. It's okay. And me, I am here to say the things how that is, how I see. And that's okay. I am not here to make me new friends and Disneyland. I am stating what I mean. Voilà.
Okay, so thanks, Patrick and Perry. I'll say we should move on now, I think, because we've been almost 3 hours, and yeah, sometimes you guys tend to like cut each other off and don't see eye to eye on things. So like Jorge, I would also love to see just more just clear communication and calm communication, because sometimes I feel like I don't know, people sense tension and so forth, and that's not the best thing. I also want to say, yeah, but we want to provide the best experience possible for everybody's watching it as well. So the more we can communicate better, the better we can do. And Patrick, I'll disagree with something you said about how not making progress. I think we're making huge progress.
By the way, there are people into the chat stating, nice, good talk, Patrick, nice that you stated that. So I don't see the point now. Either I don't join anymore, like some people that don't want to join anymore, or I continue to join and I will always say what I mean to you, to this group. And then if people are hating that or not appreciating that, that's okay. I am not here for the flowers, just to say.
Okay. Yeah, I really appreciate you joining, Patrick. As I said many times, I just asked that both you and Perry just learn to just give each other more chance to speak. Sometimes you guys interrupt each other, and I think you just kind of see past each other a bit. But anyway, I really appreciate the discussion, and I think that it's been super helpful, super inspiring. I'm going to be sharing some ideas in text that I've been inspired to share here, and perhaps we could talk about another time too, but I also want to be respectful because we've been almost 3 hours. I saw Jorge said he's going to leave now soon. So thanks, Jorge, also for the very kind words and the support before. I really appreciate that. And also the eloquent and inspiring speech. As always, great to hear from you and really appreciate it. And then I saw Rosemary had her hand up before. I don't know if Rosemary, you wanted to still add anything there, or Marco or Pascal or Perry Patrick, you want to have any share any last words before we wrap it up? We can also keep it going after the recording too, but I think that probably a good idea to stop wrapping up the recording soon because we've been here for a while. Anybody have any last comments?
Yes,
Okay.
I have a last out. That's exactly what I have written into the chat, and I want to say loud and clear. I am not here to think. You have not to think about Perry or Patrick. Forget that, Dancing Joy. You have to stay focused on your think and Eden+Fractal. No, so it's not about Perry or Patrick having some interrupt each other. That's okay. We will figure out that. I love him. I will go in Costa Rica. That's okay. You don't see the point here. I am not a sheep. I am a lion. And lion never follow. Sheep never lead. And lion have the courage to say the things. So I am here since the beginning. What I want to see into this Eden+Fractal is progress, real progress with the processes, and not be distracted with the other project of other people. The people that are building, like Mackenbird Sparrow is creating a nice timeline. I love it, by using some mind mapping. Nothing about MindWeb. He's doing his thing. That's great. I will collaborate with him. I will collaborate with Jorge. I will collaborate with Thiago Ray of Pascal. Why? Because I had the chance to know that where. Here into your screen now, here into Eden+Fractal, I have learned that. No other place. So that's the, and Perry love, again, that's nice, because that's the true Perry, that's why you love. That's the catalyst here. That's where you learn and you collaborate with people outside of this Eden+Fractal and trying to make pleasure to vous, to this Eden+Fractal group that was created by Dancing Joy since May and before last year. So I respect that. I will continue to join. I am okay also when you are here, Perry. I will join every time that you are here. And every time I will say the same thing. Be focused on what you want to do, love what you do, know why you do, and don't point the finger on other projects that are very great. And here we have to be in good harmony. I love this group, and sorry for my English, that is not so high, but okay, I make the effort to join here, and I take my time. Not only with that, with the money.
I'll respond specifically to that. Your reference to me speaking to about mind map and Bywire, and I'll remind everybody that my comment was that I'm trying to open and flatten the field for both of those groups. I'm not trying to push them out or marginalize them. I'm suggesting the opposite, that we create an open field where everybody can compete. So that's why I'm mentioning those. It's the opposite of what you're suggesting.
Compete, collaborate.
I'm suggesting that we collaborate. And Dan, I want to thank you very much for allowing me to bring these ideas. There's a lot of ideas here, and I think that I'm going to be developing them, each one of them a little bit more. Excuse me, Patrick. A little bit more, and introducing chunks and getting feedback on the different chunks, learning more about what you guys are doing in terms of the actual token mechanics, and just try to work it so that we can get some kind of solution here. I think I'm on the right path, even though I'm getting negative from certain individuals, and so I'm going to continue making those refinements and presenting it. And
I have a question for you, Perry. I have a question for you. Do you know that we have an MSIG into Eden+Fractal?
I'm pretty sure that Patrick, that Perry's
You
aware
were
that he's on
already there,
MSIG.
and
He's on there.
I asked to Perry, that's very important. We have people into the MSIG. We have added new fresh people like Perry. And Perry, I just ask you if you were one time into this MSIG and showing that you are there and that you can press a button that made approve the MSIG. You have never made that. So I am just asking you, we are really concerned with this process indeed.
Yeah, I'm not trying to bring it up, but if you're going to bring that up, Patrick,
Sorry, I ask him.
I have been hesitant to do an MSIG. And I'm not saying I wouldn't, but I haven't been super excited about it because of the conflict that we've been having, and that I perceive this place as not being decentralized. So my general instinct is not to put my signature on an MSIG until I feel like we have truly decentralized the power. So, it's not something that I was going to bring up, but if you're really asking, that's the answer.
And why you accepted to be in
I would
it?
say the epicenter of that is not far from the television at which you sit at this moment.
It's okay. I do what I want. I don't need your permission. But by the way, you accepted to be into this MC Eden+Fractal. Why have you accepted if you are not seeing this Eden+Fractal so decentralized as you want to see to be? It seems to be that the problem of your life is to see the things very decentralized, and sometimes decentralization is not really the goal. The goal sometimes is to have the data distributed at the most. Decentralization is not always the real goal. There is always a part of centralization somewhere. So why have you accepted to be into the MSIG when you are not doing your job there? What's the point? So that's what I say to Dan. One more time, that's very important to have an MSIG composed of people that are the best contributor and dynamically affected into the MSIG. We are all agreeing on that. Now we have to figure out about the tech, but that's the Vlad thing. And
that was my honest answer, Patrick. That was my honest answer. So
okay.
Well, thank you.
It's good to get some clarification there.
Television is going by. Thank you.
I'll also say too, well, we should wrap it up. And so thanks for the additional questions and context. Very interesting to hear. I'll also say thanks very much, Perry, for making this proposal. I think I said before, but I really appreciate all the work you put into it and the thought and the enthusiasm for helping the group in many different ways. And I do think this is a very inspiring discussion that provides a key value proposition that Eden+Fractal can provide. So I'm excited about that. I also love Patrick's enthusiasm too, in the ways that Patrick is helping the community and inspiring as well. Everybody's doing like really exciting work. I will mention one thing Patrick said to kind of stick with my job. My job is to moderate and host a great call, make a great video for everybody. So in the future, I'll ask both of you to please abstain or refrain from speaking over each other and sharing too much conflict, because sometimes it does just kind of turn people off. But I really appreciate you guys are so enthusiastic and so passionate about it. Thank you also, Rosemary, for sharing the great thoughts before. I know you had your hand up before. If there's anything else you wanted to share, Rosemary, before we wrap up, then we'd love to hear from you. But thanks just for joining and listening, and hope you're enjoying your day. Hope everybody enjoyed watching and has a great time, and hope thanks everybody who's contributed to the meeting so far. There's a lot of great chats in the Zoom chat. We're still using mostly the Zoom chat, but Pascal and Noam and everybody are sharing great chats. So thanks everybody so much for being here and all the great work. And then, I recommend everybody follow up with discussion in the Eden+Fractal Telegram chat, which is quite decentralized, by the way. I mean, right now I'm the creator of it, but just anybody can post there basically. And that is a current feed that we can use to share our thoughts. So I encourage everybody to use the Eden+Fractal Telegram group at t.me/Eden+Fractal. And with that, that's my speech. Oh, here comes Jayza. Jayza is joining last minute. I guess he wants to get in the action a little bit. I see Patrick has a hat on, and so maybe I'll get a hat as well. I don't know if Perry, you want to let us know if you're a bot or not, because I was kind of thinking maybe you're a bot because you don't have a hat on, but so just okay. Is there anything else you guys wanted to say?
God. Oh God. Okay.
What?
Oh, God.
I just want to answer to Dan. You say you are the moderator. We have not to interrupt each other and make attention because it's recorded. But there are other things strange during the recording. Sometimes people putting the face of someone else on his face. That's not good. That and other things. Dan, you know me. I follow you since May last year when Felix was also there. And I have not missed fast one single one. I have interviewed you 6 times on Nova Crypto. So no, it's not only Eden+Fractal.com. It's not only EdenCreators.com. It's not only BBS and all this stuff. There are the other platform of the people like dNews by Perry, Nova Crypto YouTube channel by me, Rosemary that is doing a fantastic interviews, beginning with Dancing Joy, the only dog in the galaxy. She is continuing. She has a Pomelo grant. Perry, you will have a Pomelo grant for dNews for sure. And you will wrap it up. And he's leaving. That's Perry. He's always doing like this. And he left. Is it respectful? No, he's not respectful. Is it joyful? Oh, no, he's not joyful. So Perry need a joy beside his name. Perry.
Perry Joy.
Perry Joy, I
and welcome,
suggest.
Jeza, by the way. Thanks for joining. We're just wrapping up.
Welcome, Jeza Joy, and Rosemary Joy, and Dancing Joy, and Pat
Hope you're
Nova
doing
Joy.
well.
But today I was Pat Nova Bat, because sometimes you need a Pat Nova Bat to make the things right. So I will be always here that you like. Oh, yeah, you don't like, but I think you like it. You like it. And I will always say what I fucking mean. So now it's the time to close this one with nice hats.
That is correct. Jayza, if you want to say a quick hello or just to wrap it up and stop the recording. And yeah, thanks once again for joining. Joined a little bit later, but appreciate you being here. Hope you're doing great. And I see Rosemary, she just did the hat emoji, the magic hat. So you're up to something magical and nice to see.
She's right. She's right.
Then I guess Jay's logo kind of looks like a hat too. So we'll go to that to the hat party. Oh, I said Jay's unmuted. You want to say anything, Jay's?
Hey, what's going on? Nothing, just join in. Here in El Salvador, been going through different Bitcoin houses. It seems to be like, I know it sounds like Game of Thrones, but there seems to be like different like places where Bitcoin people have houses and they meet up and they do their thing. Some of them are targeted to education. Some of them are targeted to recruitment of like companies and such. And it's pretty interesting ecosystem that is here. So maybe too focused on Bitcoin. There's a lot of maxis here, which can be somewhat challenging to talk about selecting topics to talk about, I guess. But it's pretty good. It's pretty, I mean, I'm still learning. I've been here for about 3 weeks now and still learning how is the landscape evolving. Hopefully, I think there was some big announcements as I joined in. They dropped taxes for companies that want to do IT development, which is pretty interesting. It's still not a law, but it's just a proposal that could pass because, well, the majority of the government is very pro passing these laws. There's other things like the volcano bonds. It seems that they're finally launching. So that means that a new investment is going to come into the country. Although a lot of people are not very, how to say it, it's not going to be a Shenzhen that is going to be built overnight, like in China. I don't think so. They do have the plans for Bitcoin City, but it seems it's going to take like decades to build. So yeah, I don't know. A lot of people are a little bit skeptical because it's so far in the future. But the volcano bonds are already done and launched, so that's a interesting move that is going to have some effects around the different countries around the area. Already, Panama seems to be having some kind of similar idea. So yeah.
All right, awesome, Jayza. Well, thanks for joining me to an update. I hope that the move and your travels, your trip there goes well, and very interesting to hear. We are about to wrap it up too, so I think we should probably wrap up the video because we've been here for over 3 hours now. Rosemary said there's so much in the news on, but yeah, thanks for the update and really exciting to hear what's going on with El Salvador, and wish you the best there. And thanks for sharing with us. Rosemary,
thank you,
thanks,
Jayza,
as well. Yep.
Thank you.
All right,
I'm ready.
Bye.
So now, at 3, 2, 1, 0, we will say in chorus, go. Eden. Fractal. But
But
with all our heart, soul, and mind. From the
That's
heart
right.
first, not here. Huh? Okay,
All
so
right.
raise your hand when we are ready, and then we do the countdown.
We're ready. And I think that
Okay.
they're raising their hands too, Rosemary and Jeza.
Thank
in
you,
real
Petty.
life
If you
down
hear
there.
us, we are doing a countdown, not with this finger, but with all the finger. 3,
3,
2, and 1.
1.
3, 2, 1, 0. Go
Go
Eden
Eden+Fractal!
Fractal.
Yeah, baby. Nom de
Thanks.
bleu, bah. Okay, that's in French. Sorry. You
No,
have to
all right.
be happy with this Eden+Fractal. We are improving. Okay.
Yes,
Join again.
absolutely. See you
And
next
be
week.
a lion, not a
Same
sheep.
time
For sure.
every week. Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, everybody. And see you
Bye.
later.
Woo!
Right.